see you on your feet. My mama been doing bad, but I ain't going into that. I done picked that girl up when I caught my first package. I'll be paying. Me and my people hurting for something for a day. That shit happen, the next man ain't getting nothing. Faded the root of evil, and that's my damn best friend. I put that on my life, ain't nobody gon' fuck with him. You try to jam it, yeah, that ass getting chalk. Trying to serve ain't got no business on my block, I bet you getting chalk. Now either way you try to fuck with my pop, don't believe that ass getting chalk. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burn me G, all by this bread. Bitch, I'm all up by my bread, all by my bread. Bitch, I'm all up by my bread, all by my bread. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burn it G, all by this bread. Now bitch, I'm all up by my bread, all by my bread. Now bitch, I'm all up by my bread, all by my bread. Now bitch, I'm back in the mix. Some flaky niggas better stand down. Came home, bought me some yam, I'm the man now. Niggas, some bitches off.
Welcome back to your favorite channel. It's your boy Pelican Bay K9's giving it to you the way I always do, my people. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. A lot of folk gonna like it, a lot of folk ain't. Just plain out and simple, man. Big salutes and big shout out to all the pet lovers across the world doing what they gotta do. No matter if you got a dog or a snake or a lizard or monkey. Big salute to everybody taking care of them animals across the world, man. We got some dog talk to get into tonight. Big salute. Shout out to them brothers and sisters down in the chat. Everybody that's watching the video, like I always say, man. Big salute to Mr. 216 rocking with me before that video drop. Big salute to everybody on Facebook that's checking it out. You know, come on over to that YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? To the ones that's not subscribed yet, you know. We just gonna talk some of this reality dog talk tonight, man, when it comes to this, a lot of this news that been on TV over the past couple of days. And we just gonna check out a few things. Plus, I'm gonna address a few issues as well. You know, big shout out to all the dog lovers throughout all of the South, all of the North, all of the West, and all of the Midwest, and all the bulldoggers across the globe. You know, specifically the bulldoggers across the globe. You know, see who all I got down in the chat tonight, man. Tony, what's going on with you? Big salute to Tony representing in the building. Uncle Willie in the building. Eli Monster, what's going on? What's going on? Big salute to you, fam. Kenneth Locklear, big shout out to you, fam. And Trevor, what's going on with you tonight, man? What's going on? You know, yeah, we're gonna talk about some of this stuff tonight, man, because it's almost like profiling when it comes to these pit bulls. It's getting kind of ridiculous, man. It's getting ridiculous out here. I can understand some things, you know, but damn, you know. So we just gonna get into this thing, man. You know, but on another note, before I get deep into that talk right there, you know, on a few videos I did back, I said Mayday or Zebo. A lot of brothers said Mayday. You know, a lot of brothers said Mayday, or they rather have Mayday or the offspring off of Mayday in his prime than Zebo. We'll get into that. You know, I'm gonna drop the link as well. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and drop this link in case anybody want to come up and talk about any of the topics we talking about tonight. You know, so let me drop that link real quick. So once I get to talking, all right, that's for anybody, and I keep dropping it. As long as, you know, I'll drop it throughout the night. Now, first thing I want to speak about, man, is this right here. These blue barrels. You know, I'm gonna play the news articles tonight. In a few minutes. I'm gonna play the news articles, and like I said, I'm gonna speak about them as they play because there's certain things that I want to talk about. But blue barrels, you know, there's no way in hell that, I don't care who it is, the president, no governor, no senator, no congressman, blue barrels do not equal dog fighting. You know, blue barrels don't equal that. Blue barrels equal a cheap form of dog housing that's most sturdy. Most blue barrels are more sturdy than your average dog house. As you're looking at this igloo right here, 125, and then you got a blue barrel right there for $20. So the man who bought a blue barrel for 20, is he supposed to be wrong because he want to get something that's going to last longer? Just say if he got a destructive dog, that blue barrel is going to last through that destructive dog 30, 40 times longer than that igloo that cost you 125. What's the difference between that blue barrel and that igloo right there, other than the price and other than the shape, and the color? But material wise, there's nothing different in material wise between that igloo and that blue barrel right there. And that's just a false narrative that everybody in the government across this country, is trying to put on these pit bulls. And see, I can fight against dog fighting and I can fight against animal cruelty, but what I ain't gonna do is make up shit and make dogs look like they doing certain things when they ain't doing that. Blue barrels do not equal dog fighting. 1 + 1 = 2, 5 + 5 = 10, 10 times 10 = 100. But blue barrels don't equal dog fighting. I don't know. Maybe in Africa, I don't know how y'all brothers do it over there. But over here, they buy the blue barrels because they're cheaper and they're more sturdy. Um, when I go to the tractor store and they give me this dog house, and then I got a dog who I'm doing everything for, but when she gets mad, she goes to biting on the side of the doghouse, and that igloo is ripped up in no time. That blue barrel gonna last me. She can't rip that blue barrel up like she can rip that igloo up. They can even, tear into them wood houses sometimes. It just depends on what kind of dog you're dealing with. And it's a bad thing when every time somebody get in some type of trouble, they use this blue barrel or this white barrel, this the barrel in general, as a sign for dog fighting. And that's far from the truth, man. Um, and hey, I mean, you can look at the dog that's inside of the barrel right now. It's not a pit bull. It's just a random picture that I pulled up on the internet. If it was strictly for dog fighting, it'd be only pit bulls in there. And I mean, to the point now where, like a lot of brothers say, man, they're just making up stuff just to take brothers' dogs and have a reason to come take your dogs. And like I said, we're gonna play the videos. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and play one of the videos so we can have some talking points on this thing right here, man. Because these folks saying a lot of things when it comes to these dogs, and a lot of this stuff ain't true. Before I get to this video, let me show you something what I'm speaking about. Paraphernalia. That's what a dude got caught with in Massachusetts. He just took a guilty plea and got 1 year and 3 months of probation for his guilty plea on 9 dogs of dog fighting. That's the paraphernalia that they got from his house. To anybody that's watching this that you may not be familiar with pit bulls, none of this stuff on this picture is paraphernalia. Not one single object on this picture is saying this brother is a dog fighter. I can start with these little sticks that you may not be familiar with. They're called breaking sticks. You can get them from dog shows. And like I said before, anybody with a bull breed dog or Belgian Malinois, anybody with a band dog, you need to have them sticks, at least 2 of them sticks at your house. If you got to hide them, do what you got to do. But you will not be able to get your dog loose if he grabs your neighbor cat, if he grabs your neighbor dog, if he grabs a child. You cannot get that dog loose unless you got these objects right here. Easy. That's why you see these videos and you see people beating all on them, doing all that crazy stuff, and the dog never let go, because that's never gonna make them let go. This has nothing to do with dog fighting. This has something to do with opening a dog's mouth when you need it open. The little black things that you see, that's hide. That's something for the dog to play with. Then you got what looks like little ties or something. I don't know how they got ties in the dog fighting. How is ties dog fighting paraphernalia? See, I'm with going against dog fighting, but I ain't with making up the fake shit, like I said. you know, and then they call it dog fighting paraphernalia, right? But then you see the ribbons over here to the side. So that's always going to give them the right to say, oh, brothers over here at the shows doing the faking and all that type of stuff. You're faking like you're doing this, but you fighting dogs. You know, you got to pay attention to this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Then you look between the ribbons and the little plastic bag, you see a dog tug. When have a dog tug became a fighting tool? Dog fighting paraphernalia. You know, every single one of these things that I see on this picture, you can buy off Amazon. You cannot buy them out of Walmart. And if Walmart find out where they hide at, they're going to have it. Every single thing you can buy up there from Amazon. So how can it be dog fighting paraphernalia until you engage in the act? How can I go purchase a firearm and get charged for homicide if I don't engage in the act? It don't make no difference how many guns, how many bullets, how many pairs of gloves, how many masks, how many tie downs I got. You can't charge me with kidnapping. You can't charge me with nothing until I go through with the act. So how come with these dogs, we don't got to go through with the act? All they got to do is come to your house about any bullshit and rock with brothers. Now, what I will say, I'm going to show y'all this too now. When you get caught with this type of stuff right here, this same brother, he got caught with this in his phone. When you get caught with that in your phone, then you got to expect all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, he got a year and 3 months for pleading guilty to 9 counts of dog fighting, federal charge. You know, but I can't argue about what's paraphernalia in his phone when they finding these kind of pictures in his phone. But in reality, none of this stuff on this video right here is dog fighting paraphernalia. You know, and they do it to every single person they lock up in America. You know, every single person, man. But let me get to this video because we want to listen to some of this stuff and see what these folk talking about.
Begin tonight with a bit of a harsher topic, and that is dog fighting, which is one of the worst forms of animal abuse, and it's a crime that's unfortunately occurring all across our state. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division says that so far this year, they've rescued more than 200 dogs from dog fighting rings. Now, I have more on this story, but first, want to warn you that some of these images you're about to see may be graphic for some viewers.
This is an unspeakable thing that's happening in our state.
Governor Henry McMaster, along with law enforcement, addressed the issue of dog fighting rings throughout South Carolina.
They turn them loose, and boy, they go at it. And this is not like a dog fight. You saw a dog walking down the street with his owner, and another dog came out and yipped, and they started growling. It's not that. It ain't that. It is nothing like that. It is vicious.
This type of crime happens statewide, but the Midlands region has some of the highest number of cases. According to SLED, there's been 93 dogfighting related arrests across Richland, Sumter, and Lee counties since the start of 2024.
Now let me stop it right there real quick. 90 some arrests in a matter of a year time in a matter of 3 little counties that's side by side. That's a lot of folk, man. 90 some arrests in a year's time, and you telling me, you know, brothers shouldn't sit back and reevaluate what the hell they doing. That ain't no little bit of people, man. We ain't talking about from this situation. We talking about in the last year, just that little zone alone.
SLED agents who work dogfighting cases routinely find guns and drugs and money, and in this case, having guns and drugs unsecured where a child could have access to them.
To crack down on these rings, SLED launched the dogfighting unit in 2023, which has arrested a total of 116 individuals and rescued 492 dogs.
Dogfighting is
Hold up, you know I gotta stop it right there, my brothers and sisters. Big salute everybody just came down in the chat. That guy just said damn near 500 dogs, you know, in 2 years. You tell me, should you focus on them papers or not? You tell me you need to be worried about what kind of Jeep dog you got, what kind of bolio dog. Yeah, you worry about all that stuff. You know what I'm saying. But you tell me these 500 dogs gone in a matter of 2 years is not enough dogs to shift the whole dog game to where my red boy Jocko is Eli. Your Eli is really Bolio. Your Bolio is this because all these papers are still floating around. 2 years. You know, a lot of dogs, and that's just one state.
It's not entertainment and it's not victimless. These dogs are victims, and they don't do this by choice. This is something that they are bred to do and trained to do, and it's not enjoyable for them, and it's shocking that it's enjoyable for some people to watch this and participate in this.
Jen Cootie with Animal Mission says dogs who are rescued from these rings have physical, mental, and emotional scars.
It's a very detrimental form of abuse and cruelty. These dogs are born and bred and live their entire lives on chains, being trained to participate in blood sports for the entertainment of people.
The most recent dogfighting investigation, which happened earlier this month, arrested 11 men in Dillon and Marion counties, saving 160 dogs. Investigators also seized thousands of dollars, along with firearms and drugs.
This is one thing that we don't need in South Carolina. It's one thing that some people don't take seriously.
Well, law enforcement encourages residents to report any suspected dogfighting in the state to the SLED Dogfighting Unit, and you can do so at tips@sled.sc.gov.
Now, what we're about to do real quick is we're going to look at this video where they supposed to be giving tips to dog fighting, and I'm going to explain something real quick.
Bust in several PD neighborhoods. SLED says 11 people facing charges in the investigation.
Authorities say they rescued 160 dogs. The Florence Humane Society has tips to help you recognize illegal dog fighting in your neighborhood. News 13's Eric Cooper reports.
SLED, along with Dillon and Marion County Sheriff's Office, say they busted a dogfighting ring that covered both counties. Now we have tips on how you can recognize if there's a dog in your neighborhood that may need your help. An investigation across 10 properties in Dillon and Marion have uncovered one of the biggest dogfighting rings in the state. In addition to 160 dogs, authorities say they found dogfighting paraphernalia across the locations, such as treadmills, fighting pits, and medications. Many dogs were found with untreated injuries and scarring consistent with dogfighting.
I'm going to stop it right there. I wasn't going to stop it right there, but I'm going to stop it right there. Big salute to Henry Beard in the building. Salute everybody that just dropped in the building. You know, we got to stop it right there with that treadmill stuff. You know, y'all need these government folk, y'all need to be hollering at Amazon, Walmart, all these places and see, can you get them to stop selling it because it's dog fighting paraphernalia. Don't sell crack stems and then lock brothers up for crack. You know, don't sell the stuff and then turn around and lock brothers up for it and say it's paraphernalia when these brothers clearly is not going through no kind of checks. You don't have to go through no kind of ID check, no nothing. You straight up buying it. You can not just Amazon and Walmart, any place across America. They're legal. So when do they become dogfighting paraphernalia if you haven't caught me in the act?
Jane Boswell with the Florence County Humane Society says there are ways to tell if anything similar is happening in your neighborhood.
All of a sudden, you notice that there seems to be people headed at certain times of day. Usually it's in the evening. I think a lot of these dogs sometimes are chained. They're not all kept in the same location. They're chained. And if, people notice a house that has a large number of chained dogs, I mean, I think that's worth calling in about it.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. You know, how, I understand, I can't say I feel it because dogs and humans are different. But I understand what my Spanish and Mexican brothers go through in that situation when you tell folk to make a call on people about false assumptions. How can you tell somebody to call on somebody because they got a certain amount of dogs and they haven't seen anything just because they got a certain amount of dogs? That's profiling, man. That shit is illegal. You know, do your damn job. Stop trying to make your job easy. Get out here, investigate these things, and if these brothers is doing stuff illegal, lock their ass up. But don't make up shit on these brothers or these sisters. You know, that, like I say, brothers and folk out here, you know, we either gonna go to these community meetings and change the people that's in your city, change the people that's running your country, change the people that's running your state, or we just gonna sit here and deal with this shit, one or the other. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna deal with it, then we're gonna have to deal with it, and we're gonna have to roll with it however they're giving it to us. We know certain things, how it's gonna be like that. You know, other than that, you're gonna have to hit it, from the government end. They know people with dogs don't fuck with the government, the voting, the city councils and all that type of stuff. You know, so they don't worry about dog only in certain states and only in certain counties. You know, that has a big play. We have a lot of dog and pet owners and stuff, and they're not letting that shit fly. You know, but for the most part, brothers just let get rolled over in this dog thing. You know, that shit is illegal, man. You can't just, I ride past your house and I see you got 10, 20 dogs back there, and I think you fighting dogs. You got brothers with rabbit dogs. You got brothers with all kind of dogs. Even if they pit bulls, it's my prerogative to have what I want to have if I could take care of them and I can feed them and all of them look good and everything around them look good as far as their upkeep. There's no law against none of that. You know, maybe in certain cities and certain little counties, they have little codes and stuff, but we talking international. You know what I'm saying? It's getting too ridiculous, man. Folks is making up shit, and that's why I say you gotta be able to walk around with your chest out high. That's what I mean by that type of stuff. You can't let these folk treat you like a dog fighter because you got a barrel or because you got your dog's on chains or something, and she gonna say something real important that I'm about to stop the video for real quick. Something real important.
But she says use caution if you have any suspicions.
You suspect there might be dog fighting, I certainly wouldn't approach the residence or the location because, as proven in the Dillon case, a lot of these people have guns. There's a lot of money involved. I think it's very dangerous.
The dogfighting ring is still under investigation by SLED. The Attorney General office says it plans to prosecute all those involved. Reporting in Dillon County, Eric Cooper, News 13.
Well, I guess she either said it already and I didn't catch her, or there's another video I was watching. She said when you got circle spots around the barrels, like in your chain spot, and you see circles, that's a sign of dog fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's no sign of dog fighting to anybody that's watching this video tonight. A circle in the area of the chain spot is not a sign of dog fighting. If it is, I'm trying to figure out why my Belgian Malinois Merino makes the only circles in my yard. You know, I had to move him to let the grass grow. And when I put him on another spot, he make another circle and another circle. We're talking about a shepherd. We're not talking about a bulldog, a band dog, or none of that. We're not even talking about a boxer. We're talking about a shepherd. But that's a sign of dog fighting. That's a sign of profiling, man. You messing with people for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna get up here and say it's a racist thing because you got white and black brothers getting dealt the same damn way. Brother Thaxton got dealt the same way. You know, everybody going down for the same thing. It don't matter about your color. If you want to make it about a color, by the time you realize it ain't about a color, half your color done got locked up. You know, it's about profiling these folk with these dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we don't really pay attention to it, but they trying to weed it out that way. And then you got the little pocket pits, the bullies and all that stuff, trying to weed the pit bull out from their little directions. You know what I'm saying? Everybody playing their little part to try to push the pit bull out the way. You know, but I don't mind the bully and all that stuff because that ain't nothing but competition. But this false profile, this false calling brothers dog fighters, and I'm not even talking about the South Carolina situation. I'm talking about anybody, you know, because I can't speak on that situation. I'm just playing that video because they said couple key points that I wanted to speak on. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with your D Ross down there? You know, I just wanted to touch on that tonight, man, a little bit. You know, it's to the point where, like I said, it don't really matter what you do. If it's something you do illegal and you got some dogs, you know, they gonna call you a dog fighter, man. It shouldn't be like that, because it's like I said, it's not like that for nothing else. Nothing else. I mean, if it's gonna be like that for dogs, damn, people possess guns, we just lock them up for murder. You know, it's no different at all. Except that murder is for them guns for humans, and they talking about dogs. I keep telling you, they care more about these dogs in America than they do these humans. Why the governor didn't get up there and have a press conference during the middle of the winter when it was cold as hell out this motherfucker, and all them homeless people was over there sleeping on the ground? Nobody don't care about them folk. They only care about these damn dogs, man. You know, and it's sad, dog. You know, we can, like I said, this channel is to fight against dog fighting, but we ain't gonna push no false narrative out you. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna give it the real out here. If you're doing wrong, you're doing wrong. But a lot of these brothers not doing wrong. You know, if you got scarred up dogs, that's different. You know, if you got underweighted dogs or malnutrition dogs, that's different. If you got healthy dogs and you got breaking sticks, you got a treadmill, that's not no damn dog fighting. You got blue barrels, that's not no dog fighting. You know, imagine you seeing somebody with a blue barrel and you just go in the yard and start talking to them about dog fighting. If you think that's about dog fighting, just walk with somebody in the yard with a blue barrel that got a pit bull and start talking to them about dog fighting. You should be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? You should be comfortable and see what that person tell you if you don't get the shit beat out you in that yard. You can't do it, man. You know, and it's sad because, you know, we've been talking about this thing for a couple of years, man. This shit ain't just started. It's been going down like that, and they still doing it every day, every other week, every other month. Like I said before, how can you expect people to fight, to help, or to even try to fight against something when the government pushing false narratives? You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. No. And see, some folk out there, they just gonna look at it and listen to what they say, and they just gonna ride with that shit. That's why I always tell brothers, it's easier to keep you from getting in trouble than to get you out. Because when you got them 12 juries listening to all this shit about blue barrels, all this shit about circles and all that stuff, none of that other shit matter. You was a damn dog fighter. You know, you gotta have a lawyer that get up there and say this and say that and say this. And like I said before, you know, when it comes to these dogs, the way they done push the narrative in America over the past 30 to 40 years, this ain't like going to trial for no drugs. This ain't like going to trial for no murder. This ain't like going to trial for no another kind of act. These folk automatically, when you get them 12 jurors, you know, you ain't gonna get no 12 ex-dog fighters. You ain't gonna get no 12 pit bull lovers. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get 12 regular people who gonna listen to that blue barrel shit, who gonna listen to that blank area in your chain space, the grass gone. They're gonna listen to that and they're gonna automatically convict you of the shit. You know, they're not gonna hear your story about no, they ain't gonna, oh, this and that and this and that. And it's a small chance they do. You know, it's a small chance they do. But what's the purpose of going through it? You know, but in order to stop going through it, we not, like I said before, one person can't make say something about it. Folk got to do something about it from city to city to state to state. The same way they pass them laws and then say, oh, you can't have no dogs over there in this city no more, or you got to have them registered up with the city and all kind of stuff. They only got that passed because somebody like you or somebody like me wasn't at that council meeting to vote that shit out, or to hear when they was announcing their plans, and then when they go to voting, don't vote for this joker. You know? See, that's why a lot of brothers, and I'm going to say this politically, this is the only political thing I'm going to say, a lot of these down south brothers that's born and raised down south, that's in the politics, even the ones that's not actually doing the politics, but they pay attention to what's going on. A lot of these brothers don't like folk to come in from up north because they bring all kind of different ways. A lot of them ain't dog lovers. They hate dogs. So they get to your city, they become a city council. Now they change all the dog laws. You know what I'm saying? You have to pay attention to this stuff. You might not think your vote matter, but your vote matters somewhere or another. You know? And truthfully, to the things that you got going on, your vote may matter more to that city council than it do to the president. Because all the shit that he's talking about right now, half that shit don't even evolve half the country. Besides the tariffs and all that. That lower end, that lower end, he ain't worried about that lower end of the country. But your city council and all them folk and your governors and your people in your state, they the ones that making the laws that's affecting us. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I got to make it clear, man. I ain't here to try to bash neither side. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking the truth. You know, if you going mess with any brother about anything, you know, let it be official, man. You know, if brothers don't look at it, if they come lock you up for say something a little more serious or something don't have anything to do with dogs, there's some crime you done committed in the street, they're gonna have real evidence, man. They're not gonna just say, oh, this paraphernalia. When they lock these brothers up for drugs, they ain't going to get no damn the nickel bags these brothers bagging that shit up with, talk about this drug paraphernalia. They don't care nothing about them sandwich bags in your damn cabinet no more. All they want to do is put that pound of cocaine up on the damn picture, up on the camera. They don't care nothing about, and maybe they might put the scales up there, but they don't care about the real paraphernalia. That dog stuff is not paraphernalia. Now I can understand they speaking about dog fighting magazines that's strictly promoting dog fighting. I can understand that. I can understand certain things that's strictly dog fighting. You know, but man, how can you tell the difference between a brother that's going to a confirmation show and a brother that's going to a dog fight? How can you tell a difference? You can't until I commit the act. You know, I got my dog on the treadmill. I'm making him run on the treadmill. I'm giving him all everything I'm gonna do for a fight. I'm going to do the same exact thing for a confirmation show. So how can you tell the difference? You can't, because you prematurely trying to tell the difference. You gotta catch this brother doing something, or either conspiring to do something. You know, and man, like I said, man, it never gets old. These folk, they just do what they gonna do, man. You know, and being that we see the laws gonna be the way they're gonna be, we just gotta adapt to the situation. Unless you just want to be down there arguing with them folk, I ain't gonna be down there arguing with them folk. None of that type of stuff. You know, I'm trying to do right while I'm out here. You know, like I said before, to my brothers who may not have no charges and stuff like that. You don't even want to get no cases, no nothing. You don't want to get in the system. I don't care if it's probation. You know what I'm saying? Don't even let them folk put you in the system, man. Stay rolling on one road. You know what I'm saying? Don't think, oh, I'm on probation. That ain't shit. Man, listen, man, that shit hurt you more than you know. You know what I'm saying? Let me see who down here in the chat, man. Big salute to all my brothers down here in the chat, man. Bonton, Scatterbread, what's going on with you, man? Where you been at? Big salute to Bonton in the building, man. Derek Farmer, salute to your family. Salute to you. Yes, sir, man. You know, and I do want to speak on, I don't got the picture of it, But I do want to speak about the stuff that I told y'all that was good for fleas and ticks and stuff that you could put on the ground and you could put on a dog. Diatomaceous earth edible grade, diatomaceous edible grade stuff is like dirt type stuff or like powder type stuff. Not dirt, but like powder stuff. You can put it on the animals because you're getting the edible grade and you throw it on the ground. And when it rains and stuff like that, just soak in the ground. But it's made for fleas, ticks, insects, and stuff like that. And like I said, you can put it on the dog as well because it's edible for them. You don't go feed it to your dogs, but just in case your dog did eat it, it's edible. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that probation, a mother, man. Brothers think that probation, oh, it's easy. Yeah, it's easy. And then somehow or another you violate it. So regardless, you just don't want to be in the system. It may be easy for you, you know what I'm saying, but you just don't want to be in the system for something you could have avoided. At the end of the day, blue barrels ain't enough to put no brother in no system. It is, but in my opinion, it's not worth putting a brother in the system. A blue barrel is not nothing, you know. But a blue barrel, a hard piece of plastic. And we put that picture up there again, man. It just, if they're gonna do it like that, they might as well just ban the dogs, man. Don't make up all this fake stuff and get all these fake warrants so you can go raid these people's houses and now you're getting drugs and all this other stuff. You didn't even have a drug warrant. You had a dog warrant to come check the dogs. Now they from the dogs, it's automatically gonna search the house. Now they're getting drugs, guns, and all this other stuff. Don't use all that stuff, for fake warrants. But if a brother breaking the law, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm gonna put them on the news. But man, we can't support a false narrative. Heavy chains. I understand what the government mean by log chains. I understand all that. I get that picture quite well. I tie my dogs when they on the chain, on the biggest chain that I could tie them on, the biggest, smallest chain. I'm gonna put it like that. The biggest, smallest chain. Big enough not to pop when they running on it full throttle, but small enough they can feel like they're not even really tied up on anything. Just big enough to be strong for a few years. Yeah, man. Just had to address a few narratives, man. And like I said, when you get caught with stuff like this in your phone, what can you expect? That brother came out, good with a year and 3 months probation or some community service. He got to do something like that, And this the thing. When these brothers have these pictures like this in their phone, a lot of times it be other brothers in these pictures that get in trouble with them. He lose that phone and he got that picture. You can imagine what else he had in there. Now everybody else who on that phone, you gonna get a call from them boys. More like a visit. So I mean, just look at it for what it's worth. Handle it how you gotta handle it. And it is what it is, man. I just coming here rocking with my folk tonight. I ain't gonna be here too long. Just hitting it in the head, man. Hitting it in the head. And like I say, I know whether they're watching it tonight, I know we always, no matter what channel it is, you're gonna have, when you're talking about these game dog pit bulls, you're gonna have some type of tree huggers, government officials, people that's kin to government officials, somebody that can say, oh man, watch this video, they talking about this or they talking about that. You always gonna have them type of folk watching the video. So at the end of the day, I gotta speak how I feel, my opinion, you know what I'm saying, and what's real as far as putting a title on a person, you know what I'm saying, calling a person a dog fighter, and trying to look at a person in a certain kind of way. Now, if you got evidence, it's different. But a breaking stick is not evidence. I don't know, man. If anybody feel different, you can hit that, drop on that link. Like I said, I'll drop that link again in case it's got old. If anybody feel different, or you can express your opinion when it comes to them blue barrels or when it comes to chain spots, or if you want to say anything, about the situation. And right now I got the screensaver up. So if you wanted to come up and speak, I'm quite sure you'll be behind the screen like I am right now. So they won't even know who you is. Yeah, man. It's just sad, man, and I feel kind of bad for the brothers that's going to the shows and stuff, because brothers going out here taking a hard time, working their dogs, getting them looking good, going out here to the shows, enjoying themselves, and then you gotta have somebody to say you fake it. I can imagine how mad that makes any brother that's going to shows. Oh, I'm faking, I'm fighting dogs. You got a brother who may got 50 dogs and he competing in the shows hella hard. He ain't got a fight on his mind. And he got 50 barrels, blue barrels. But you telling these folk to ride past this man's house and call the police on this man because he got a lot of dogs. How about let's start calling the police on these folk who got 100 poodles in the yard? These folk who got all these little nice little house dogs and they got 20 of them. You know what I'm saying? Pit bulls ain't the only people that got a lot of dogs. And like I said, man, I pit bulls and my hunting brothers, they go through the same things. I done seen my hunting dog brothers, they get profiled the same way. They don't get profiled for fighting. They get profiled for the way they have their dogs in the barrels and having this. It just, the government way of either getting money out of brothers, and that's another thing we're going to speak on. A lot of people, and I got to say people because I'm speaking about the people of America. They say they only mad about the dog fighting stuff in America like this because they can't get the hand in on the dollar. They can't get the hand on the dollar to control the pit bull fighting activity. And I'm just speaking of what the American people say. I'm not speaking of how I feel. I'm just speaking the rumors that's going around. If they can get their hand in it on, and I ain't talking about if they can make money like you making. No, if they can cut your money off and you only make money through them, different ball game. Different ball game. But you can't control that like that. And like I said before, the brother who y'all may feel like who's the small time over there, you can't control who got the dogs and you can't control who got the best dogs. Yeah, they might legalize it. They make a whole TV show about it. But that little brother over there who can't even afford to do nothing but feed his dog, take care of his dog, and that's it. Got the best damn dog in the country. So they can't control it. So that's what these folks saying. So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? D-Ross said the problem is they don't love the dog. They love the attention. Yes, sir, man. I agree with you with that, man. I agree with you with that. Oh, now I'm glad Trevor said something about this right here. I ain't even sure if you talking about this, Trevor. I ain't even sure if you talking about this. But McMaster, we are totally against dog fighting. We against it. I done been through it. You couldn't melt me and pull me back over there, McMaster. But I'm going to tell you like this right here, Mr. Governor, you said some false stuff in your speech, and the thing is not to try to get mad and try to assassinate my character or come at me or say anything. The thing is to understand when you said something wrong. I didn't know what you was talking about when you said brothers are clipping dogs' tails to see how game they are. Nobody does that. I never heard of that a day in my damn life. What can clipping a dog tail while he's fighting tell me about how game he is? Now, I don't know what video game this shit came off of, but this is not real life, and all this does is make brothers look bad. You know, that shit don't exist, man. Now, I'm gonna tell you what does exist. If we're gonna keep it all the way real, since I'm talking, maybe to higher powers right now. We're gonna keep it all the way real. Brothers may put dogs on 1 or 2 or 3 dogs. They may do all that. They may have skinny dogs. And I agree with you, McMaster. Some of these videos will make some people mad and will make them cry. I agree with you with that. But I can't agree with you about the torture techniques that these brothers using on these dogs because they ain't doing it. If they're doing it, I would like to see a picture on it on the news so we can see how inhumane, how horrible these kind of people are. And I will post it on my video, and I will talk cash cold shit about them, McMaster. If you could prove to me some brothers is clipping dogs' tails in the middle of a dog fight to see how game they is. This shit don't make sense. We got to stop this shit now. If they fighting, they fighting. Can't argue with it. But the stuff don't make sense, man. Are you trying to make people look that bad that have the breed? Just ban the breed, period. Period, man. It's a whole lot easier. I say it's a lot easier, right, John Denver? I say it's easier, but I tell my brothers, it's easier to ban the dog. Why the fuck they gonna ban that dog when they locking motherfuckers up the way they locking them up? That dog ain't gonna get banned, man. It's too much money involved, baby. They can't get the money that way. They gonna get it the other way. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get it the other way. Why are we gonna ban this pit bull when we locking so many brothers and sisters up all year long? Brothers and sisters of all colors and creeds, whites, Mexicans, blacks, Asians, everybody get locked up. Why are we gonna ban it? The only reason they stop them in some cities and some counties, most of the time, be insurance purposes and stuff like that. Still involving money. Still involving money. They ain't banning these dogs in these cities and different places because they're attacking people. They banning them for money reasons. When they got these little stuff where you got to go sign them up with the city, that ain't nothing but a money issue. So it seems like when you can't control this thing with a money issue, it's starting to spread a false narrative. You know what? I ain't gonna lie, man. I'd rather just know, just have to turn the dogs over because I know they banned than have to go every day to wonder, who gonna look at me like a dog fighter because I got this in my yard, or because I got a treadmill, who gonna look at me like a dog fighter? Like I said before, putting on a green uniform don't make you a soldier. You got to go out there and be a soldier. Picking up a gun don't make you a killer. You got to go out there and do it. In actuality, picking up a piece of drugs don't make you a drug dealer. You got to go sell it. At least try to go sell it. Once you go out there walking with it and it's in your pocket, you tried to go sell it. You see, you pick it up and drop that money, pick it up, look at it, put it down, ain't nothing gonna happen. Go about your business. Pick it up, put it in your pocket, walk with it. Now you're committed to crime because you attempted to go sell it. At least that's what they thinking. And I can agree with that. So you telling me if I'm up on a beach and drugs just wash up on the beach in front of me, and if I don't pick that up and take it with me, then I'm going to get charged with drugs? No, I can't get charged with it. I didn't do nothing wrong. D Ross, man, hit that link. You want to come up here, bro? I'll drop that link again for you if you want to come up here. Anybody welcome out. Even if you want to talk about something that's not on the subject we talking about, if it's good dog talk, we can get on it, man. It don't matter to me. I just wanted to touch on them topics when it comes to a lot of the news we've been seeing over the past couple of days. Oh, I do want to speak about this. And this is something that happened in the South Carolina dog raid. But this don't have anything to do with the dogs. They got a bunch of blue fentanyl pills, right? And 2,000 some ecstasy pills, and I forgot how many fentanyl pills, 700 some fentanyl pills and 2,000 some ecstasy pills. All right. Now, my thing is, what I'm about to say now don't have anything to do with the case, period. All I'm saying is, brothers, if you on them pills today's time, my brothers, be careful, man. Be careful. 700 blue ecstasy pills, 700 blue fentanyl pills, 2,000 some ecstasy pills. Listen, brother, all that got to happen is brother run out of e-pills, he gonna make sure he get that sale still. All that got to happen is them e-pills and them fentanyl pills get mixed up, and brother not paying attention to what he doing, and nobody paying attention in a dark club, and he give you the wrong thing, by accident. What's going on, brother D Ross? Salute to you. Appreciate you dropping in tonight, man.
You better believe it, fam. You better believe it, man. It's a sad situation this time in life, man. When it comes to the dogs and when it comes to the community, man, it's like, enough is enough, brother. Enough is enough, man. And, when I was dealing with the dogs, it was said to me the game was to be sold and not told. And I never understood that, yo. I really didn't understand. It was like some monkey talk. You know what I'm saying? When somebody said the game was to be sold and not told. And that's what happened, man. When the elites back then in the 70s and the 80s, when they felt like, the pressure was on them, they had a lot to lose. They had business owners and land owners and prestige people was involved, and they know that a lot of things was on the line. You see, us as a culture of people, we take it there. We take it all to the last drop. Now, it's very unnecessary, man. They presenting this stuff that you showing on TV, on your show, all these drugs, all these guns, all the violence. A couple of brothers in Mississippi lost their life early last year amongst this stuff that's going on. It's just too much, man. For what? For what? You see what I'm saying? If they say so part of it is supposed to be a sport. If it's a sports thing, if it's supposed to be so-called a sport, where is the regulations and the rules and everything when everybody playing a sport? You know what I'm saying? It's out of control, man. And so when authorities get involved and they expose all this PBK, they could do whatever. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I say PBK stole my wallet out my car, and it's not true, it's not true. D Ross, come on, get your act together, man. Don't be shaming that name. But when you're a suspect, then you become the victim. You know what I'm saying? So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And it's to the point that everybody's fed up, man. Even the ones who take this seriously and as a livelihood, as a hobby to them, as a lifestyle. The ones who just come there fly-by-nighters who want to be down or want to be in a DMX video or want to portray something that they are that they're not. And so I know people who don't even know how to get their own dogs a vaccination, but they want to tie dogs up to a chain and consider themselves being a dog man, not knowing what it is. These dogs need love too, yo. These dogs are human too. I hate to say it like that. They got feelings and thoughts. That's why we love them so much. Why we love them so much, but treat them as in hate wise, and they show us that's fucked up. You see what a dog do to love you, man? They go above, like X said. Y'all could go. I could smack my dog. He just sit in the corner, and somebody knock on the door. He ready to jump on their ass. He ain't never think about that smack or that discipline I gave him. He's still on his job. So why we don't do that? Why we don't do that for ours, man? And then when all this stuff you expose to us, everybody, they doing us wrong. No, nigga, you did us wrong. And that's go back to when they said the game is to be sold and not told. And that's what we're dealing with now. Why are we out here selling fentanyl fucking pills, man? Why are we out here killing these people, killing people out here, innocent kids getting a hold of fentanyl pill? You know that stuff kills. Why all these guns like y'all going to war? If they draft you right now and tell you they're going to give you $1 million to be on the front line, you start crying to mama, talking about mama, but you're going to be riding on guns. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So smack the fire out your ass, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Nah.
You 100% right, man. You 100% right. Like I can't, when I get up here, I have to speak only the positive. So I understand what my brothers do, the drug thing, but I always have to say this, man. I don't understand how a brother can sell fentanyl, dog, knowingly, man. You know that each one of these pills can kill somebody or hurt somebody, man. And dog, the Lord work in mysterious ways. Your child or somebody will be done ran through your house, got a hold of a pill, and then you be like, oh, in a whole fucked up situation there. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. You sitting there.
Drug kills regardless, crack, coke, whatever, however. But dog, fentanyl is a whole different zone, man. That shit is like, I understand why them folk is serious on that shit, but me myself, I don't think they're serious enough on fentanyl. You know what I'm saying? Because anything that a brother can now, some people have it and they don't know they got it because it's mixed in the coke and all other kind of stuff. But when you got something that's a fentanyl pill, man, listen, man, that shit is a whole different ball game, man. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I don't look at that shit. No, that shit is just crazy, man. That's the real meaning of killing your community, killing your people, killing anybody, man. That's the real meaning of that shit, dog.
Yo, it's like this, Nine. Check it out, Nine. It's like this, yo. They so foolish as a people. They so foolish. If they was to come out with a capsule of COVID, selling COVID for $20 a pop, these niggas would be out here selling COVID in the capsule, yo. Just for Luther. And you know what I'm saying? No, there's no morals, no respect, no nothing no more, man. You know, so we can take it far beyond the dogs. So when these folks come down on your ass because you out here, because they know, because it goes just like this. Okay, if let's say a local person, okay, little Joey around the block, he got 4 or 5 dogs, and Joey ain't really paying attention to his dogs, ain't really taking care of his dogs, and Joey ain't really no problem. He worked at the local bodega or whatever. He ain't no problem, but he ain't taking care of his dogs. Guess what happens to Joey? They send the local boys, the little animal shelter over there, give him 5 days to get his rabies shots, get his act together, and they check him out. You know what I'm saying? So when the big boys come, the big boys come because they know who's doing what. And then and another problem it is, I'm gonna tell you another problem, yo. These cats is out here portraying something they not. They out here, you know what I'm saying? They out here faking like they getting money and they gangsters. And then when the man grab them up and put them in the cold room, they sound like Patti LaBelle. They want to be Luther Vandross. They want to go platinum. They want to tell everything to get back home to that pussy and that rotten ass house they got. You know what I'm saying? But then again, they portray to the world that they something that they not. They killing us, man. They killing the culture. They killed us, yo. Our own people, yo. Our own people. Look at all the guns they got. Look at all them drugs they got. It wasn't no way. If you doing your thing, man, the era that I came up, if you was doing your thing, you'd never know you was doing it. You would never know. It'll be a surprise.
Now, and like you said about the sport thing, what sport can we look across America and brothers got to take that many guns or that many weapons to a sport? If it's a sport, why you got to even come strapped? Period. We coming to have fun. We coming to enjoy ourselves. If it was a sport, the game fucked up, dog. You come to the show. You gotta. It's like I said, you're going to a club. You can dress like a club, and you got to be strapped just like you're going to a club. You know what I'm saying? You need to have your bulletproof vest on at least. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man. And how can it be at something that's supposed to be a sport, something that's supposed to be a gentleman's sport, and you supposed to be out there fellowshipping, or what they call fellowshipping? And like I say, we talking about back in the days how it was. You know, we don't know about today's time. We just talking about how we getting these news articles and stuff like that. And we see what they doing. Like when I did the show on the 2 brothers in Mississippi. Man, that type of stuff. Man, listen, that wasn't happening back in those damn 80s and those damn 90s and the 70s and all that type of stuff. You know, not saying nobody never got hurt around the box, but it was a different kind of vibe, man. Whole different vibe. And that new vibe that came brought the laws with it. You know what I'm saying? Brought everything, brought all that shit with it. And now that they're here, they're gonna add it to everything else that they got going on, like the racketeering, all that stuff, man.
And I want to touch on something too now. When we talk about the barrels, you talking about the barrels. Check this out. If let's say a detective or something like that, let's say there's a SLED group that's going against pedophiles, right? And each time they go bust these pedophiles, they just bust like say 300 pedophiles in the last month, and they found comic books on a desk. They found comic books on everybody they bust, some type of comic book. So each time they see this book, what is going to say? Man, hey, this nigga might be he might be a pedophile or something, man. Because each time we bust these 300 people, we found the same little comic book, man. And so it's called stereotyping. You know what I'm saying? And you can't blame them. You cannot blame them, yo. You're giving them the material to fire back on you. This is ridiculous. How stupid was these people raised right? Are they educated? Who is these demons that's causing? This is a rapid fire thing. It's usually when I was around in the 60s, man, when we was doing it, man, we have a good time, laugh, talk. You can have a family affair, see a couple of good ones, man, back in the 60s, man, and you go about your business, man, and you talk about it and you be a part of something. Today, when they sold out, everybody, this the type of culture we in. Look at me. I'm Earl Tudor now. I'm Jim.
Yeah.
I'm Crenshaw. Look at me. Y'all want to be seen. You know me? You know everybody say, you know him? You know such and such? You know such? What the fuck you want to know everybody for, man? Why you want to be involved with something like that? This is supposed to be a hobby sport amongst the ones in the fraternity who understand what they're doing. It's people still out here fucking making moonshine, selling moonshine, even though it's prohibited to certain limits. But there's people out here still doing it in the backwards, been doing it for 60, 70 years because it's their business and it's amongst them and their friends and family who's involved with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not for everybody to know. And with us, we want to be seen. Look at me, I'm the man. And look what it costs everybody and look what's going on right now. Without PBK9 right now, man, hey, a lot of people be drowned, be sunken, be crying, families be missing. Because of you, brother, hey, you keep the Harado. That's all I got to say. Harado. Harado. We love you, PDK. Now you got great support, my brother. Like you said, around the globe. And what you're doing is magnificent, yo. One time I got mad because I said, man, you so much brilliant, so educated, so right, and you stood on your ground. I kind of got mad when you like clapping back at these niggas because they wasn't on your level, boss. They not on your level, man. So it's like, when you ignore somebody and say less, it speaks more in volumes, yo. But when you stoop down to their level, PD, you out of like a fish out of water, man. You too bright for these kids, man. You too bright. If you can educate them, and they're willing to learn and listen and take forward and hold on to the truth, you being a leader, I consider you as a leader. By you being a leader, if nobody's following, they drowning. Simple as that, brother. And you don't never stop believing in what you do. Man, I look at you, I'll be so proud of you, brother. I'll be like, damn, look at my brother, man. And let me tell you, when you first started, I got a big trouble. Niggas abandoned me. They talk shit about me and everything because I was bringing forth the news. And then it was a collaboration I said, damn, my brother right here is on the same thing. And I said, yo, man, hey, extra, read all about it. PBK9, y'all, hit that up. Oh, come on, D-Ross. Man, this and that. And I said, oh, my God. You can never argue with a foolish-ass person, yo. They got to find out for themselves. They got to find out for themselves. So I'll say this to you, brother, man. We love you. You keep on doing what you're doing. I'm going to rock with you. And there's a million other people right here and across the globe is rocking with you. Don't let these fake niggas fool you, PBK9. You the man, brother. You the man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. And I'm rocking with everybody too, man. I love everybody, man. And I always I talk shit and I say I'm trying to I want to do something else. But the thing about it, I think about this shit for the last couple of days daily. The dogs is what I am, man. Through and through. It don't gotta necessarily be the game stuff and talking about that old stuff like I always say, but I'm a dog man by my lifestyle through my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Not just 2 years ago or not like that. I was begging my mama and daddy to go buy me a pit bull. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And shit, man. And like I said, if I would have never got in trouble and never seen how they tie that dope into them dogs for nothing, I probably would have never started doing the news to the point like I'm doing now. But I seen that shit, dog. You don't, you know, it's and for my brothers out here who are hustling, that's unfair. You know, it's fair to lock them
Right.
up for selling drugs, but it ain't fair to call them a dog fighter because they got drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
If he fighting dogs, he fighting dogs. What if he's selling drugs and he the best man at the damn show? He spent his money on top of the line show dogs, the best show dogs that can go to the show, and this man never seen a damn box to fight in his life. How can you call him a dog fighter? Because he got drugs. You know, and that's where I stepped in and be like, yo, man, because a lot of brothers didn't, and they probably still don't know it, man. Like that shit will tie you in so fast to make you wouldn't even understand. You're not even thinking about dog fight. Now you're a dog fighter. Now you on the news. You got to go prove that you ain't a dog fighter, you know, or they got to prove that you is one. Now I always say this. How many of these brothers that I ever did the news on over the past 4 years? It's a few of them. It's a few of them. But how many of them only had dogs they got the trouble with? When you get in trouble with all this other shit, any kind of drugs, any kind of guns, any kind of anything else, you don't got no wins in your dog case.
That's right.
You gotta fight a whole nother ball game. And the dogs is like, man, come on, man. You know,
That's right.
So you know, maybe you know brothers will realize it, man, and get the picture eventually. It ain't nobody hating on nobody, or nobody don't want to see you have so-called fun if you consider it fun. Like I say, I don't care what no brother do. I just want you to realize what's going on around you. Like you just said, it's now in the 60s and in the 70s. I don't know about that because I wasn't born then, but 80s, late 80s, man, listen, man. You know, you didn't get a kick out of taking 40 people with you. Like I said, man, I had one of the biggest crews around. Everybody was rocking with the dogs. Everybody knew Sambo. But when it was time for Sambo to get his ass in that ring and do his damn thing, they wasn't there, dog. Only thing they heard was the story when I came back the next day and gave it to them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about these brothers that I would pull that burnout and bang with them. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
In my days when I'm doing all this stuff. So that's how I feel about them. So if I feel like I go out there and give my life for you, but when it comes to these dogs, dog, listen here. It's the type of thing these brothers do out here. I know you gotta be grandfathered in, how I say it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't grandfathered in. It's like how them boys jumping you in the gang and stuff. How the fuck you at this damn meeting here? And who jumped you in? How you in? You know, that's how it was back then. It wasn't no jumping, but you had to know somebody. And if you was if they looked upon you as a good person to bring you there, then you knew not to bring nobody else. You knew not to tell nobody else. This is our little secret. Take me, I'm gonna be there with you, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if it's 10 other people there, it's cool, but I ain't tell nobody else. You know what I'm saying? It's shit. That's how it was then, but now it's different, man. And that's all I be trying to say to these brothers. You know, we give stories, but you gotta understand. You know, when we was giving when we telling about the times that we was living, this shit wasn't going the way it's going now for y'all brothers. You know what I'm saying? Now, man, you can't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? You can't. They ain't in the middle of the box talking about, oh, is anybody police and lift up your shirt and all that shit. If you police now, listen, even if that didn't work back in the days, it was just the fact that they had the courtesy to say it. They thinking about the shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It don't matter if there was an undercover and that shit they gonna still lock everybody up, even though he get in the middle and say that. They gonna be quiet because they always say they had to voice their opinion. If it's the police around the box, you gotta say something. I believe if it's undercover around the box, they ain't gonna say shit. They gonna let you say that and they gonna stay around that box. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an undercover operation. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the fact, dog, that that's what the gentleman's part of the game was. Brothers went by certain codes and stuff like that in you know when they was doing the stuff, you know.
Yeah. And another thing now, and another.
Hold up, Ross. Hey, yeah, you on Trevor? You got Trevor up in the building right now. You on, bro? But go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying now.
Hold on one more time, Ross. Hey, Trevor, turn your TV down a little bit. We can hear your background.
Good person to bring you there, then you knew not to bring nobody else. You knew not to tell nobody else. It's obvious.
Hey Trevor, I got your mic muted. I got your mic muted right now. That's just because you got the background playing. Drop that background a little bit. You know, you still in, you still up here, but I just had your mic muted.
It's different, man, and that's all I say to these brothers.
You see, I can hear the video in the background. But yeah, go ahead, D Ross. Go ahead, D Ross, while he getting that right.
Yeah, I had a buddy call me, tell me that he had somebody tell him that the thing started turning out to be something called like a door fee. They said it got ridiculous. It was a thing, and now pack the crowd. Bring your mama, bring your sister, bring the whole neighborhood. They don't care who you bring. It's $100 to get in. And so they could take the money and gamble with it and all this. Like I said, huh? He said, yeah, anybody could go. You could bring a friend, anybody could go. So I was like, wow, is that what it turned out to? So everybody's starting to get gate fees. So they said the more people they get a couple $1,000s at the gate fee. And I'm saying to myself, damn, like it just got too far out of hand, brother, to the point that it's eliminated now. You know what I'm saying? And don't let it. And I didn't want to. And I'm gonna end it on this note. And I let my other brother speak because I know he want to get his time in. But I'm gonna say like this: I did not want to address or make anything that I said sound racist or anything. But I know the culture and the life that in the world that we live in. And let me tell you like that: it's already hard on us anyway. You know what I'm saying? I got friends from all different type of nationalities. There's no nasty, wicked blood, hating blood in my bones. You want to believe it? If you don't, it don't matter. The ones who know me know the truth. But what the ones who's going to prosecute you don't see what your fellow brother, or your peer see you as. They see something totally different. So you get the maximum. And everything that you do, regardless how good your heart was or how good your intentions was, is always going to look at it as being ugly and being a devil. So you got to take that in mind on how you should move in this world today. If you mess with dogs, if you create your own business or whatever it is, because stimulation is going to be twice as hard on you, black man. And I'm not going to make this into a racist thing, because if you notice, I know it's been a couple Caucasian brothers and Mexican brothers involved with it too, but the majority is the majority rule, brother. And when they make it a majority rule, they call it a cultural thing, and the pressure and the prosecution become totally different. And that's what we're dealing with now. And then you can't blame them, because if it was just dogs, it'd just be dogs. We could work that thing out. But look how much other sits behind it. And that's the problem right there. So deal with it. The monkeys out there, and that's right. I'm gonna call you a motherfucking monkey, because y'all jump from one tree to the next. Whoever got it, you want to be up in their ass and show like you down with it. Look at me, look at me. And so when they grab your ass and start handling you the way they want to handle you, you start crying and saying it's wrong. No, it's not, because it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So get your act together, world. Get your act together. Know who you dealing with. Tighten up. Straighten up, clean this shit up, because only we can clean it up. They gonna try. They got it. It's a cat and mouse game out here, and I got very much passionate about it, because it hurt my heart to see this day come, man. To see this fucking day come. You know, my family. I've been with my family for so long. They know how they label me. He don't love nothing but them dogs. When I was dealing with the dogs back in the 60s, he don't love nothing but the dogs. So I got passion. I know there's many more people out here like yourself and I who got passion for the dogs. Amazing animal. But why we treat them so cool, so cruel when they try to give us all what they give us? Come on, we gotta tighten up, Nine. We gotta tighten up, baby. And without you, we can't do it, brother. So you keep on keeping us aware. You keep on bringing the knowledge and the wisdom. And that book of yours is amazing, yo. I recommend it to anybody, man. Education, knowledge is the key, brother. And it's a sentimental piece too. And this brother's still alive. I'm telling you, man. Y'all ignorant people. The reason why people go against the grain with you, PDK, now is because they want you to stoop down to their low level. And you refuse to do that, brother. And I love that shit in you, because the sky's the limit, man. You look back 2 or 3 years ago when you started out compared to where you at right now, brother, high motherfucking five, brother. I love you. I salute to you, because that's progress. He's working. And if nobody want to get on that wagon right there, they ain't nothing but devils and demons, yo.
Yep.
Devils and demons.
Now, White Lives Matter. Trevor, I'm about to let you talk, bro. I just want to address this real quick. White Lives Matter 2020 said Mexicans and whites don't affiliate with you guys. And guess what? You know what I'm saying? We don't care about your ignorant comment. I'm still representing for the whites and the Mexicans and all them other brothers out there. You know what I'm saying?
No
Because
doubt.
the ones that you rock with, White Lives Matter, might not rock with us. But them brothers down with us and in the same situation just like we is. You know,
That's right.
the Mexicans selling just as much dope as them black brothers is. You know what I'm saying? They getting the same situation. Them white brothers getting the same situation. You know, so the ignorant comment you made, brother, that shit don't fly. That shit don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? We know we got black brothers that don't deal with white brothers that don't deal with black brothers, Mexicans. We know that. You ain't saying nothing, fam.
Your left. Go do something.
Go seek some help. Go seek some help, brother. We love you too, man. Let's go seek some help. Let's go seek some help, man. If you feel some type of way, try to get people out there dealing with dogs or dealing with people, man. Try to remove that negativity stigma, man, and get some try to positive. Everything that's good and right is hard to do. So stop trying to take the easy way out, the easy route out, and make it harder yourself. Become lovable, to become passionate, and to become friendly, because you get a lot more done in this world, man, being that way than the way that you could want to be screw-faced and the next killer. Come on, man. We got to stop this, man. Let's stop it.
Yep. Trevor, you unmuted now, brother. What's going on with you, man?
Not much. Just listening to good talk here.
Drive
Yes,
3.5.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Just kind of listening to some of his points. You know, he had a lot of good points there. And fentanyl ain't no good. It ain't got no place with these dogs. You know what I mean? If you love them, if that's what you're gonna do, man, get the hell out of there. You're just in the wrong spot, and you're misrepresenting our breed for sure. Because everybody knows somebody who's been a victim to that shit.
Blessings, Trevor. Blessings, brother Trevor. Preach, baby. Preach.
Yeah. But hey, what I'm about to say, so my big, I listened to that interview you put out the other night, and what really pissed me off was a lot of the way that they painted pictures on there. You know, if you see someone with a dog circle, report them. If you see that blue barrel, report them. These people are violating these. You know, they're cutting dogs' tails off and doing all this crazy shit. There's no proof behind that. If you're gonna say that people are doing that, show who's doing that. He did that stuff. That's some serial killer stuff, you know. I never heard of anybody in my life doing stuff like that. So don't paint that picture of everybody with a blue barrel in their yard or a dog on a chain because they know how to take care of these kind of dogs to keep them out of trouble, stuff like that, or have a breaking stick in case you have an accident because you ain't educated with the dog. You ain't ever raised a real APBT. You probably raised something that wasn't an APBT that had some mix in it or something. So you really don't have no right speaking on these dogs if you don't understand them. And that's what really bugged me about that whole, that whole witch hunt that they was trying to start.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And like you said, man, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say to Trevor, don't let that disturb you. Don't let that disturb you, bro, because they can do whatever they want to do. They can paint whatever picture. So let you and your lawyer go in there and fight and prove them different. You see what I'm saying? They can put any type of stigma on you because that's how they feel. And look at that dude, that shit you showed, that Buck City dude. He's a character in his own. You know what I'm saying? He deserves everything. No disrespect to Buck. You know what I'm saying? You deal with your own business. But what they had said and proved in court on Buck City, that's what he did. They showed it. They showed what he did. You see what I'm saying? Now, how do you gonna fucking call your goddamn self a motherfucking dog, man, and you out there fucking shooting pellet guns and you doing all that unnecessary, go fucking clean up the fucking dog shit. You don't take care of fucking dogs, and then you gonna say you defending yourself, asshole? Come on, make some sense out of that shit, man. And then when these people say whatever they want to fucking say about you and make you fight that shit in court, it's because of what we have created amongst them. This is what they fell into and what they found 100, 300, 400 times. So they can say, hey, everybody who got blue barrels, they dog fighters and they got guns and they self-fitting on it, just no good. Now, prove me wrong in court, motherfucker. So now the judge and the jury look at you like this. This is what you do? Prove me wrong. How you going to do that, brother? How? When you ain't got a pot to piss in or when to throw it out. So now the majority rules and we all get blamed as the same. This shit got to stop, man. It's got to fucking stop.
That's where everybody's got to unite. You know what I mean? And you got to educate people who don't understand this breed, how you properly raise the breed, and it doesn't have nothing to do with those drugs and fentanyls if you're in it for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
We got them blue barrels for a reason. It's because you can put them together right where they ain't rolling over. Like when I'm looking at this one here, it's on like a platform. You know, that might, I don't know how that's fastened on there, but it would have to be fastened up sturdy to where he couldn't just roll off of there, and that thing rolls off, and then all of a sudden he doesn't have his blue barrel. You know, so the blue barrel's not put together right. So if people know how to put these blue barrels together right, and then they can put that bedding up in there and stuff to where it keeps the dog warm. That igloo, see how open it is on the bottom? All the hay, anything you put up in there every time they come out to pee or to use a restroom or just to run around and play, because pit bulls are active. They don't want to be cooped up inside a crate all day long. They need to exercise. They're happier like that. But that's what these people don't understand. They also like to have fresh water. So if you're going to have that blue barrel set up, you need to have fresh water set up. You need to have a good concrete bowl. Your stuff needs to be sturdy, and you need to be out there cleaning up your yard on the daily, you know, maybe in the morning and night to cover your ass and just to do right by your dogs, because that's how you're supposed to raise them. And if you're doing all that kind of stuff right and you're in it for the right reasons, nobody should be coming out and harassing or bothering you. They don't have the right to.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Trevor. Thank you, Brother Trevor. Preach, brother. Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that. How hard is that, man? But no, everybody want to be down. Look at me. I don't know how to feed. What do you feed? Or how do you do this? But you got 40, 15, 16 dogs. You don't belong with it. You educate yourself, young man. Take your time. Love to know what you're dealing with. Raise one from a puppy and realize what you're dealing with. Read a book. That's how we came in back in the day. We stacked up the books. We was proud to have a walk around with a Stratton book, man. We thought we was honest. Now that you give a book to somebody, they look at you like you crazy, man. What's that for? They don't even understand read a paragraph.
Yeah, when we was younger, we had those Richard Stratton books, and we was learning how to take care of these dogs the right way, because it was the only place you could learn. You go out there behind those igloos, they're going to tear them up, they're going to break them up. Next thing you know, winter comes upon you. You had him all set up right, but he drug his stuff out because you're a novice and don't understand how to take care of a dog. And then you wake up in the morning and, you know, something happens that you didn't want it to happen, but you had to learn a lesson. So the more we teach people how to set up these barrels to where they actually are right, we teach them how to make these concrete bowls. They're feed bowls where they can't be out there turning stuff over, and you go out there and you change them out once a day. Hey, people forgot America's supposed to be the pit bull is supposed to be our mascot.
That's right.
The mascot of America. We're supposed to be the game country. We came over here and won one. You know what I mean? We wasn't backing down. So there was a time whenever they put these dogs in the newspapers and they were the heroes of America. You know what I mean? Now we got this alternate agenda that they're trying to push on us. I guess they forgot about Sergeant Stubby. They forgot about Sergeant Stubby. We never read about him. Sergeant Stubby, if you guys don't know, Stubby served in World War I and is renowned for his bravery and loyalty. He's credited with saving countless lives during the war, including locating wounded soldiers. Can you believe that? An APBT was locating wounded soldiers and alerting troops to incoming artillery shells and gas attack. It's the APBT, the ultimate dog, the fearless dog, the dog that when you train him right, he can do anything. He's the ultimate dog, the real dog. He ain't the fake version. All this other stuff. If you don't understand the real dog, don't tell us how to treat the real dog. You're chasing around after thugs and painting pictures that everybody are those people. We ain't. We ain't those people.
Yes,
and
yes,
brother. He was awarded with several medals for his service. So he's a decorated dog, and he's he was the mascot back in that time. Everybody looked to Stubby. The Americans had to be like Stubby if they wanted to survive back in them days.
That's right. That's right.
So what turn us into poodles and chihuahuas now, though.
what you think gonna happen?
We are the dogs. That's why we love the dogs.
Yeah,
that's
what
right.
You think gonna happen? What you think gonna happen if somebody start selling barrels that they put, like one of these companies start selling barrels just like the blue barrel because they see that's a popular thing. They're selling them out of the tractor store now, and brothers turn around and buy them from the tractor store. The same barrels that it was getting from however they was getting them.
I think it'd be great. Maybe we should be the ones that's putting them together, making them extra good to where the igloos can't even touch that barrel.
They can't touch them, man. Like you said, when the winter time come, right? Forget the winter. It's gonna rain before the winter time come, and then your dog maybe done wreck the house, wreck the igloo up to where the water leaking in there now.
Check this out,
you got to go get a whole nother house.
PBK, check this out. So in this picture you got, it says 125 for that blue barrel, right?
Yep.
Those are actually 209 right now in the
damn.
Those are $209 because of inflation. That blue barrel right there, you can get that for $10 to $20. You can invest $209 into it. You can invest $125 into it and make the ultimate dog house to where if your dog, if you leave some dogs inside the house, you may come home and not have any furniture.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
So that's why we need a reason. If you're really raising and you know about the APBT, the ADBA, APBT, not no fake shit, then you know that there's a certain way that you have to keep certain dogs, and that's how you have to keep them. And it ain't because you're a bad guy; it's because you're doing what's right for the dog.
Yep.
Well, brother Trevor, I just want to say this right here. I don't really believe it's the barrel. I treat that blue barrel like the Draco, the Draco gun. There's nothing wrong with the Draco, yo, or whatever, the M16, the AK, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the ones who operate it in the wrong terms. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. They know ain't nothing wrong with that doghouse. They know ain't nothing wrong with that. That's proper shelter.
Yeah, they associate.
Yeah, it's associated.
And then they want to come in and try to get you for whatever that's called. It's the same thing as profiling.
Hey, you know what they told one of my friends with a barrel? They said it didn't have a drain spot in it. Didn't have a drain hole in it.
Well, that's what you just take your little, like your screwdriver with the Phillips bit, and you just put you put your one like not in the very bottom because you want it to be a little bit slanted too when you put it together so that it'll drain backwards, but you put it to where it's kind of on the sides. You put you a couple of them in there, and it's good to do that because whenever they get up in there with the hay and the bedding and all that stuff and they're breathing, if they're tucked up, see, that's a pretty wide opening barrel right there. I like mine to be about maybe like half that, unless it's a huge dog that has trouble getting inside. It depends on the side of the dog. You might need a bigger barrel if you have a bigger dog, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And little dogs need smaller barrels so that they can keep that warmth up in there. But when you put the holes, the condensation from the dog breathing when they're curled up doesn't cause moisture, and it allows it to air it out, but still keep their warmth from their bedding.
Yeah,
go
ahead, bro.
No, I'm sorry. Nah, go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
Now I was just gonna say, I believe with that barrel that we're looking at right there, I believe they just got that sitting on top of that just to sell it.
Yeah, just sitting on top.
Yeah,
$20, $125.
And like you said, my hole on my barrel, I like mine a little bit smaller than that. That way, he can keep some of that air out and some of that weather out, and he can get back off in there like get good and warm.
Yeah, but everybody's seen the janky deals where someone just takes a barrel, puts it out there, dog rolls it out of there. You got to make your barrel secure to make it legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the back in the day stuff. When you're a novice learning and stuff, you figure that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people that you had on the interview the thing you was showing, they was orchestrating the bus talking about that thing happened in South Carolina. I looked at everybody in that panel, right? I looked at everybody in that panel. I watched the video over and over and over. I looked at it, and I said to myself, you know what? Them same people who's describing everything that's going on and talking about everything, I said, they got some shit with them. I don't know what it is. They might be, making moonshine. They might be out here gambling or have a little girlfriend on the side or whatever. They got some shit with them. So they human just like us. They never, there's nothing different than them. But when you get exposed of what you're doing and they feel that it's a worldwide, it's a spread on that, and it's a lucrative business, they come in there disrupting that because you got fentanyl pills, like you said, your child can get it. You could be smoking a blunt, acting like you counting your pills, putting it in the bar, and one might fall on the floor by accident. You high, you're not thinking about it. One might fall, and heck on the baby, or heck, a little tic tac. And
Hey,
then there you go. You
we got it. The fact that we even have to worry about that stuff these days is what's really sad. You know what I mean? We didn't have to worry about
yes,
that
sir.
stuff. It ain't been that long ago that you didn't have to worry about such just ignorance. You know what I mean? Who would even want to be a part of that? You know, everybody knows somebody whose kid or, you know, somebody they went to school with's kid or somebody got a hold of one of them pills and just thought they was taking a Percocet or going to go out and play some video games with their friends or something like that. Walk in there and see a couple kids dead because they bought some pill and it had something like that in it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's heartbreaking. That parent never gets over that. You know what I mean? They're never the same after that. They're always just, what was I, if I was just watching a little closer, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
For real.
It's all
education is the key, man. Education is the key.
There's a lot of things that they could do, that sounds outrageous, but think about this. So if you have crime, crime attracts fentanyl, right? People do it for the dollar, because they'll do anything. There's certain people that'll do anything for the dollar, and they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Especially if they're bringing it over here from other countries and stuff or from cross borders and stuff like that at rates. That's why they're trying to shut all that shit down. But you could also, if you legalized everything, if you just, forget it, weed, cocaine, anything you want, you could go to a pharmacy and get it and not have to worry about getting fentanyl in there. And then whenever you figured out, hey, this ain't the way you want to live, because at some point nobody can ever live that life forever unless they just want to go out and, a nothing. But if your kid, if you had a kid and he had a problem, he was going out messing with cocaine or something, you know what I mean? You'd paid thousands of dollars to get him out of rehabs and stuff like that. It was breaking the family just to try to do it. And the kid kept going out and getting it. And then one day, after all the thousands that they spent because they love their kid, the kid goes out, he takes he gets his last dirty little bag, takes it, and he never wakes up because he got some fentanyl.
Dang.
Whenever he could have went to a pharmacy and got that, and that would have never been a question. And then there would be no crime in it, because if it was in pharmacies where it was legal, then you wouldn't have people bringing it over here bringing dirty shit. Nobody would even think about taking shit off the streets. You could take that money and reinvest it into rehabs for when people decide that they don't want to be idiots for their entire life.
Yep,
that's right.
You know what I mean? So there's lots of stuff besides these dogs that's wrong with the world today. But if America could just get back to using the APBT as their mascot and understanding what that means, then I think we'd be on a better track. And I think I think here lately, in some ways, it is on a better track. You know what I'm saying? But in other ways, it isn't.
Yeah.
And it's that agenda. It's just that agenda that they have.
I think when Tom Gardner have his like pig pickings and all these shows, these fun shows, and people, I think at the beginning it should be a class, an introduction of how to own and treat and raise the American Pit Bull Terrier. The ADBA got paperwork for you to kind of learn how to when you buy the pet. You know about that, right, Trav?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, how to learn.
Yeah, you can get on their website. They got everything.
Yeah. So I think the educational part, man, because everybody don't belong to having these dogs, yo. That's like everybody don't belong with a gun. Mental illness is at an all-time high.
Hey, he might need to do it like a driver license. Make you like a permit. Read a book.
Yeah.
And you fail so many, you don't get one. You can't get your license. You ain't got to register your dogs up. You just got to have a license to say you can own these dogs. That means you went through some type of course to get some type of education about these dogs.
Unless you wanted to classify the APBT as like a wild animal, like a tiger or a cheetah.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do that, you got to do that for everybody who wants to own a dog. And then there, I don't know if you want to open up a can of worms. You know what I mean? That could they could turn that shit on you real quick.
Quick. You're right. Yeah. But I understand what you're saying, though.
Never give up your rights. Always, the Constitution is law. You know what I mean? So never give up any of them, no matter how you feel. Even you might say they don't need guns, but whenever they wrote that Constitution, they fought for that shit, and
Yep.
they said we all have the right to bear arms.
But I bet you now.
So
I
don't
ain't
give
100%.
anybody.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm just about to speak something, But I'm probably willing to bet that it's not one thing in our Constitution about a dog or about a dog arrest in our Constitution. Now they might have it in the Animal Act might be in the some type of in the laws now, but I'm talking about the actual Constitution. That ain't the Constitution. That Animal Welfare Act ain't the Constitution.
Yeah.
Far as
That's
our
more
actual
local,
rights.
state, right? State, local. That ain't that more local, state? Yeah, state, local.
I think it's probably federal. It's a federal law,
right?
But I ain't sure exactly as far as how
it's everything.
That them gun laws is in the Constitution. You got the right to possess that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's freedom.
Yeah.
You got the freedom to own animals. You got the freedom to raise any kind of animal you want. It's America. We're supposed to be able to raise cows, horses, pigs, goats. You can farm land. If you got your freedom, you're supposed to be able to go out and start a business. You're supposed to be able to do whatever the fuck you want because we're free.
Yeah.
We're free. We're supposed to be free over here.
Yeah, we free to a certain extent, man. A lot of people think, a lot of people come from other countries and they feel like we spoil or that we this, or they don't understand because their country may be a little worse than ours. And when they get here, they come, so anytime you go to a new place, it's gonna be like that. You're gonna try to strive better. But to us that's over here, man, it's like, you really not free. You don't really got the total freedom of speech. You can't really say what you want to say in America
without offending somebody.
100%. Yeah, without offending somebody, without
you
losing your
what
child.
You want to say, but then until they turn that shit on you,
Yep. Is this certain things, like you said, it's freedom, but to an extent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about breaking old crazy laws or nothing like that. Or nothing. No, I'm just talking about simple stuff.
Well, let me ask you something, Nine. Let me ask you something, Nine. Let me ask you something, PKK9. Yeah. Where do we go from here? Where do we clean up? Like if you walk into the house, it's a hoarder. You look at the house, you say, "Damn, that's a nice house, man." And we say, "Let's go knock on the door." And we knock on the door, and they open the door. We can't even see nothing in the house. It's the whole house is cluttered with a whole bunch of shit. How do we clean up from here, yo?
Man, me myself, I think like I said, it's a big issue, dog, because it's so deep because there's drugs and everything involved with it, and it's a lot of good brothers out there, good-hearted brothers out there. I mean, that doing their thing because they in certain situations, and that's why I said I don't want to speak on that far as trying to say you bad or you good, or everybody in their own situation. They got to do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? This brother might gotta feed his family. He might be the only one that got to feed the family, and nobody else working. So he may have to. I don't know, but I just think, we just gotta pay attention to what's going on around you. You gotta stop listening to a lot of like peer pressure type stuff. You got a lot of younger brothers, you know what I'm saying? Not really with the older brothers. You just gotta understand, man, a lot of older brothers that friend a lot of these younger brothers. They're not like how you came up, dog. These brothers out here now is on a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's bad, but like we were speaking about a few seconds ago, it's a lack of education about these dogs. And a lot of people not even trying to get it until they get their 15th dog. You got 20 dogs and you don't know nothing about dogs yet. You should have learned everything you needed to know about them dogs when you got them first 1 or 2 or 3 dogs. If you had to go through parvo, or if you had to go through worms or whatever you had to go through, you should be knowing a lot of stuff. Not saying you're gonna know everything because you're not, but you should be on the track before you get them 20 dogs that ask me something, so simple, or asking you something so simple, and we never gonna know everything, and it's always gonna be another brother that know a different way to do certain things, the way I did it, but we have that problem more across the country, that you have brothers with a gang of dogs and you don't know how to take care of them. Not just give them food and water, but all the way around. You know what I'm saying? just, you gotta, like the brother said, we gotta make better humans. Making better humans about making brothers be more aware of what's going on around you. Understand it's easier to stay out the trouble than to get out. It's easier to stay out than to try to get out. You know what I'm saying? Understand what's ahead of you in your future. How you trying to live your future and what you trying to do? Are you trying to be missing from your family for 5, 10, 15 years? Or are you trying to, be around and take care of them? Brothers really got to think, because when you look at this stuff with this brother that got 500 years, man, like I said, he got 500 years, dog. And what if they make him do 30 years and they say they drop the charges? He can get out and have some probation for the rest of his life, or have probation 5 years. And they feel like they gave him a whole hell of a lot of time off. 30 years, that's a life bid. You know what I'm saying? We say, oh, they're going to drop it. He'll be out. And we don't know what's going to happen. That brother got to fight it from the outside, inside. He got to have somebody out here as well that's saying, oh, I want to try to, fight for him. Because if he don't, he going to be doing that 500 years off them dogs. If brothers got to look at that shit, dog, that shit was not like that when we was coming up in the 90s and the 80s. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see nobody catching that much time about no dogs. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You didn't see houses getting raided because they bust dogs. You heard brothers getting busted at dog fights, but you didn't hear nothing about them busting the houses, getting guns, dope, and all this stuff like that. It wasn't going down like that. You know what I'm saying? Even if we say it was a little action at the boxes back then, even we say brothers got in little squabbles or did their things, maybe had some fights at the boxes back then, you didn't see all the other stuff that was involved with the game now. And the thing is, I just think you just got to educate brothers. Education is the key to anything, no matter what we're doing. We can be playing basketball, football. The players that's good athletically, they good, they great. But the ones that's athletic and they got the education, they know how to educate themselves in that game. Them the ones that turn over and be the historical players. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Education is a motherfucker, man. Like I said just yesterday, right now we think education is bad. We treat education like it's bad. Our community, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. The brother who go get that 4-year degree, he don't get no coming home party. The brother who just came home for doing a year because he was stealing some shit out of Walmart, or because he was out here being a corner ornament, just because you selling dope, don't mean you was doing shit helping your folk out here and all that stuff. You're a corner ornament. You in the way of some brothers who out here doing something. And now you go to jail, folk acting like you did something. Come home now, you're throwing you parties and this and that and this and that. And I'm glad to see you too, fam. But at the end of the day, this brother who over here who trying to do something, he ain't gonna get nothing besides his immediate family. You know what I'm saying? His immediate family gonna always show love. But the ones, your friends and all that, that shit hurts, brothers. When you have friends and different things and they don't show love when you do positive. You see, that's why I always tell folk that's in the game. I don't need you to have my back when I want to go hit some ass or when I want to get in a fight and you want to jump somebody. I need you to have my back when I really need you to have my back. You know what I'm saying?
But having your back too, 9 is also saying, hey, bro, I don't think that's a smart thing to do right there, man. You might want to reconsider that, man. What you think?
Exactly, dog. Don't be no yes man. You got to have people right. Only way you're going to achieve what you need to, even them boys who consider themselves celebrities, the millionaires right now that we see jumping in these situations, situations that we would have never been in. You never supposed to be in once you make it to certain levels. There's too many people out here struggling. These brothers, they getting. I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm just gonna say it like this because I'm looking from the outside looking in. Brothers getting that rap money too easy off bullshit. Because if you had to work for it and really work for it, you'll learn how to keep that thing. You'll learn not to go out here, put yourself in street activities, having yourself involving in street activities when you're a multi-millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck is you gonna do that shit? That's the point of trying to make it out the hood, to leave the hood. You don't make these millions of dollars to stay in the fucking hood.
That's right.
You know, and it don't necessarily mean stay in the hood, because it's your mentality of staying in the hood, your hood mentality. You know, you gotta, it don't make sense. And these brothers is like They getting all this money and they still doing the same stuff. They still doing the same stuff. It's like you gotta educate yourself, man. Even in that stuff, education is a motherfucker. These brothers, they come up, they make a one-hit wonder. They're not educated in the music game. They sign that little 360 deal and they do all kind of stuff. Their whole deal is gone to the record company. They got life insurance on them, waiting for them to keep dropping that drill music so they can get smoked and get that life insurance policy on them. You know what I'm saying? They ain't educating themselves. They think because that man gave them $15,000-$20,000, he give a fuck about them. You know what I'm saying? He give him $50,000, he care about them. Oh, I drop. Man, you know how cheap it is to do videos now? I came up in the air down with $1,000 a video, and you had to go through World Star wasn't even out yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We was calling up Jordan, the dude Jordan Towers and them folk, you know what I'm saying? World Star just came out, and World Star was charging a high ass amount to appear on their main covers, like their first page. They was charging you like a certain amount to appear on their first page, and then over the weeks you start going back to their second and third and fourth page over the weeks, unless people hitting you up. You know what I'm saying? And that shit was high back then. These record labels now, man, they give you 100 videos and don't even have $50,000 tied up in you. You know what I'm saying? And you don't gotta work for none of that shit. They just give you some mumbo jumbo, like them boys from New York say, mumbo jumbo ass rap. I'm from the South. I don't even like this shit. You know what I'm saying? I like real rap. You know, the last little bit of real rap I like was Jeezy, T.I. and them boys. I don't like all that.
Oh, you said something. You said something the other day, man. You said something the other day, hit it on point. You said, man, you said you don't even like dancing, or somebody dancing because all the dancing is spinning them now. I said, damn, you right. You hit that right on point, yo. Everybody waving their hand and doing that butt shaking, grown ass men dancing like that. The dancing ain't even dancing no more.
What about Michael Jackson back in the day?
That was the man.
Hey, was that feminine? Or was it badass?
Now,
me I don't think so.
I liked it, but
hey, whenever he did the moonwalk, remember whenever Billie Jean, all of a sudden he did the moonwalker. Hey, back in the day, that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, well, if you know Mike's history, he was a student of James Brown, so he kind of mimicked that and so forth like that, and it kind of he woke us up to that moonwalk that day when he did the moonwalk. I still remember that clear as day. We was all sitting in the living room, man. So he woke us up to that right there. So that's what made Michael Jackson.
I did it.
When it come to him, when you ask the question, when it come to him, yo, listen to every single piece of choreography they doing right now today got some of Michael Jackson stuff in it. Every single bit of it. I don't care what they're doing.
Yeah, Chris Brown, Ursha, all of them doing the same thing. Yeah.
If their whole routine might don't be about it, but they got some type of snap or pop that he did.
So do you think the not only that they say that the smartphone is getting smarter and people getting dumber, but do you think that the days of the big yard is over with? That 15, 20 dog, you think it's still feasible?
I don't think so. I just think it's how you do your thing, because we always got to throw Tom Garner a name up there, and if you paid attention to that press conference the other night, Governor McMaster said that Tant was the number 2 breeder when he got busted. That means Governor McMaster knows who the number 1 breeder is. He didn't say breeder. He didn't say breeder. He said dog fighter, and he caught himself and he said, no, that's not what they call themselves. They call themselves something else. He called Tant the number 2. That means he knew who the number 1, or he felt like he knew who the number 1 breeder was. So the thing is, that brother got plenty of dogs. Nobody not messing with him. It's what you do. I think with the dogs, I think the days of brothers just doing it like not cleaning up behind the dogs, not taking care of, and you still having 100 dogs, them days probably over. But if you got them kind of dogs, you really gonna have to make sure your stuff legitimate. You know what I'm saying?
If you got that many dogs, I mean, you have to have a lot of time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can only have as many dogs as you have time for, and you have to have nothing to do except for that. If you have that many dogs,
that's the thing, man. That's the thing when it come back to that conversation of why you need 100 dogs.
Yeah,
that's what it's like. It's gonna be like anybody got the right to ask anybody that. When you go to somebody and they be like, how many dogs you got? 100. They gonna be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who it is. It could be a dog man. They gonna say that. You know. So you gotta look for that type of person kind of profiling you in that way when you got 100 dogs.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You just got to make sure that you got them legitimate.
So,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, who has time for it?
Say that again, Chad.
Who has time for it? You know what I mean? To have that many, to have that much
right,
time.
Right.
I'm not mad at it. Like if you were completely retired, you had all the money, and you was just like, look, I love dogs. I mean, there's people that have those tigers and stuff, you know.
That's right.
They're going crazy,
That's
and all
right.
they do is have all them crazy tigers. I mean, these are just. I'd say this isn't like as crazy as having tigers.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry. My bad.
No. I was just the tigers, like, you know, having them crazy type, or, you know, a bunch of monkeys or something. I mean, there's all kinds of, you know, people that have a bunch of different types of animals out there that normal people wouldn't own.
Right.
You're probably not really normal if you have 100 dogs or 200 dogs. You're not the everyday Joe. Like, you're a little bit different, but that don't make you a bad person if you're doing things right.
Not at all. Not at all. But it's, you know,
I ain't gonna have 100 though. I'm gonna tell you that.
Nah, I ain't gonna have 100 because I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't got the time for it. I don't got the strength for it. I'm 46 years old right now. I don't got the strength for it, boy. I can tell you right now.
You better have a lot of help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're gonna have some help. And like I said, you're gonna have to make sure that, cause see, this is the thing. You gotta, in today's time, you gotta make sure that you keeping them dogs straight. So them folk come to your house and look at your dogs. You got 100 dogs, you got 80 of them straight, and then you got 15 of them that's kind of looking, you know. Matter of fact, we're gonna go all the way with 95 of them straight, and you got 5 of them that look kind of bad.
Hey, some of them could just be old dogs too that you've taken great care of, but they're 15 years old, so they don't look like, you know, like they did when they were 3 or 4. These are dogs you've taken care of for years. I just lost my old dog. He made it all the way to, I'm going to pull his paper. So he died April 6th. Cancer got him, but I think he had to be at least 15 or 16.
Did he have any? Did he have any cancer, like lumps or anything?
Yeah, so it started like he started losing like his hair on his underbelly about the last 2 years slowly, you know, until he was kind of getting bald on his underside, and then he had a lump pop up on the back of his leg, and then it was there, you know, and you could tell he was you know how they kind of lose the power in their ass when they get really old.
Yeah.
And then when and then their heads kind of start to sink in because they're super old. At some point, it's just like a human. If you die of old age, you're not going to look your best. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a dog like that in your yard that you've had for 16 years, and I'm not going to take mine and put it down. I had mine in my room in a crate next to me, and he could barely even get up to go outside and walk towards the end. You know what I mean? So that was my boy. You know, I had him since he was a baby.
Yeah. Hey, PB, another thing, brother, I just want to know, and I want to ask anybody and address anybody, why are we so forgetful? And what I mean about that, I'm thinking about months ago, maybe about a year or two ago, you had did a show on a case in Indianapolis where they had a transporter and they put a bug on his car, and they said they had a whole bunch of other people to get, and they kind of named Tom as being one of the top breeders and so forth like that. I don't know if you remember that episode about that Indianapolis bus type situation.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
What I'm saying?
And
that dude was
doing
transport from Mexico.
Yep, they had the whole trail that every place that he went through, every place that he went at. You know,
so you know what I'm saying? What you think about that?
Stuff. They still had all that stuff. I mean, like I said, you know, transporters, man. Like I say, they're a big part of a lot of the stuff that's going on out here in this dog, far as situations that's going on. These transporters, their names not getting called. They not even getting called up as like when they say when we talk trash to the brothers about fighting or about doing this or about doing that. We never hear the transporters taking any of the blame. A lot of these transporters are taking the blame. And like I said, the transporters do the same thing a lot of these dog brothers do. The same troubles that they got, they bring to the dog game with them. They hot as hell. They doing illegal checks. They doing fraud. They doing this. They doing that. And then they go out there and pick your dog up. We got the feds already watching them. You know what I'm saying? So they already watching them. Now they gonna follow on the boom, the boom, the boom, the boom. You know, and that's how you know that dog thing done got tangled up into just regular life illegal activities, man, because the dog's so popular. The dog in everybody's damn hands. You know, if you probably got 10 people, if the country only had 10 people in it, you know, at least 5 of them gonna have pit bulls, and maybe 4, at least 4 of them. I'm gonna say 4 of them. You know, but the thing is, the dog's so popular, and you know, everybody got their own way of living and their own problems and their own issues, and they still got the dogs, and they put everybody, all of us, in one category when it comes to the dogs. The people that's doing wrong, the people that's doing bad, you know, everybody. And it just, and it, you know, to try to do the little false narratives with the dog houses to make everybody. It's kind of like when the 80s hit and they start putting the magazines out about the pit bull being the human biter and the dog that's gonna take the humans out and all kind of stuff. When they was putting them on the Sports Illustrated, that was their little thing they did on the pit den, and it worked. And now they got a whole nother thing they doing where they putting out false stuff. They making everybody think like, oh, they got the blue barrels or they got the barrels and they got a lot of chains out there. It's ridiculous when you tell people to call in because they got a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on, period.
Yeah, if you see a circle,
you
call.
Know, that don't make no sense, man. It's not that much, it's too many real crimes going on that you can go report. Then right about somebody's house where they got a lot of dogs and calling, oh, I think he's dog fighting because he got a lot of dogs.
Yeah, sex trafficking, starving children, abuse, all kinds of bad stuff you can worry about.
I think he kidnapping. They got about 15 kids in the front yard. I think they kidnapping. Oh, and this woman over here is a foster mom. She's a foster mom, and she got 15 kids. All of them taken care of. All of them love her. But somebody ride past and call just because, you know, somebody out there getting a beating one day, or somebody out there getting chastised one day by a foster mama. And this woman out there, man, come on, you can't do that. You gotta be in the committing the crime. You know, even if it's conspiracy or something, like the telephone calls. If I'm on the phone talking about I'm gonna do something, yeah, that's conspiracy to do it. Or if I'm around you saying I'm gonna do something, yeah, I'm conspiring to go do it. But if I'm not doing it and you just come here because I got a speeding ticket and I didn't go pay my ticket and I got a warrant now, you came to my house, now you say I got a bunch of dogs, you fucking with me because I got barrels. You know, I think the right thing to do on this situation would be when you go to somebody's house or you want to check or anybody want to do a welfare check, you go check and give people ample amount of time to make decisions they're going to make. If they don't got the right cages, give them the time to get cages, give them the time to buy all this stuff, you know, and if they don't correct it, then you can, you know, take their dogs or do whatever you got to do. You know, but don't just bum rush people with a false narrative and try to put that same shit on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, like, you're going to have brothers who not doing illegal stuff that's want to fight back. That's going to say, I'm not going to go out like that. I'm fighting back because I'm not doing nothing illegal. I don't got no drugs behind this thing. I'm fighting back. You know what I'm saying? They try to do one of my other brothers like that in one of the states up north. He was up there in Milwaukee. They took his dogs. He could have been gave in and got rid of his dogs, or say take them and do this. He said he gonna fight back, and you not taking my dogs, and they end up giving them back. They wanted to charge, but after a while, when you're not in the right and you in the wrong, you know, they feel like, oh, we got to give them dogs back, so they let him get his dogs back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it ain't free to put all them dogs up either. It costs the state money when they're doing that bullshit.
I didn't do the video on this because, you know, I just didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I had, you know, talking about other stuff. But
that's right.
When they had an update on the mall cut stuff, and they said his dogs was up to $1 million right now. And this was the last video. That video came out about it was probably about 4 or 5 days ago. I didn't put the video out because I didn't want to do nothing on it, and I'm still not putting it out. I'm just speaking about the price wise, what they say the dogs had cost at this point, $1 million. That's what the news people say. Can't believe everything the news people say. They lie. But I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, what are they doing to? What cost $1 million?
If he's found not guilty, of course he should be able to get every single dog back for free. I don't think he should have to pay a dime to get none of them dogs back if he found not guilty. You know what I'm saying? And I say this to anybody. Right and right and wrong and wrong. If you ain't do nothing, take that thing to the door. You know what I'm saying? Take like Mr. Big say. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
If you feel like you can beat them, take that thing to the door. They can always scare you into taking these pleas and all kind of stuff because and make brothers will take stuff and plead guilty to stuff they didn't do because they don't want to get found not guilty. You don't want to get found not guilty for 20 dogs. You wasn't fighting them. You don't want to get found not guilty and get fucking 30 years.
But you got one hearing in there, and you're 30 years deep.
Man, and you go ahead and plead guilty and get 6 months in probation or something. So brothers take plea deals a lot of times just to damn keep from, even when they're innocent. So it's just, I think I think the government, even the government need and I say this before, but brothers don't pay this no attention. And a lot of brothers who not in the game or don't really know, you don't really know what I'm talking about right now. The crack laws have changed since the 90s. The 90s, you can get caught with a piece of crack the size of your fingernail and you get 15 years. Now it's different. You don't get as much time as you would got back then. You see, I said this. The crack is in the urban neighborhoods, right? Boom. They drop the crack law down and they bring the dog law in because the same thing is in the same neighborhoods. The dogs is in the same neighborhoods the crack in. Make you think you losing. Make you think you getting off by getting caught with this crack, but you got caught with a dog as well, and you're going to get the same damn time at the end of the damn day. You know what I'm saying? They just wrapping the package up different and giving it to you. Wrapping it up different and giving it to you and let you fucking up the same way and still going to give you the same amount of time. In actuality, they finding more crack by letting the dogs get into the shit because they're getting these warrants and stuff for the dogs and going to find all this drugs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, brothers just got to pay attention, man. If it's as far as where we go from here, I mean, all we can do, man, is stay positive, stay forward. Everybody, stay educated as much as they can. You know what I'm saying? And try to, always keep people around you that's gonna tell you the right things, ain't gonna just let you do what you want to do. I don't care if you're the man in the crew with the money. Somebody gotta be be man enough to tell you gotta have folk around you like that, man, or it won't last long. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Everybody be a yes man gonna only lead you to one place. Everybody gonna be broke at the end of the day. Somebody gonna be in jail. Somebody gonna be dead. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have folk that go tell you, man, this ain't go this way. Whether you make that decision or not. We all grown.
That's right.
But the thing about this YouTube and a lot of stuff we speak to, and a lot of young brothers listening. I done did interviews with my young brothers like Fatberg and them boys. Them boys still in middle school and coming up in junior high and high school and stuff like that. Yeah. So when you got folk like that you talking to, man, and brothers, a lot of brothers, we look at these YouTube analytics and we see that a lot of our people that watch our shows maybe a certain age, but we can't forget it's a small amount of them young brothers out there, man. And that's right. Where we gonna have to change things. That's gonna be the era. No matter what we trying to change, we're gonna have to start with. We got to start with the young brothers when it come to all this stuff that's going on now, as far as the switches and all that crazy drill. We're gonna have to start back with the young crew, the young generation.
Yeah.
Everything we got to start back with the younger generation and make sure that they got enough education, enough knowledge to as they continue forward with this thing, they know that they can do it how it's supposed to be done. Because I mean, a lot of people gonna be set in their ways. A lot of us older brothers, we're gonna be set in our ways. We want to do certain things certain ways. And like I always say, man, my channel ain't to say, oh man, you horrible. You horrible for dog fighting. Nah, man, they got laws. All I am is a news channel. All I'm doing is giving the
Right.
news. You know what I'm saying? I love my dogs. I know there's a lot of brothers out there that love their dogs and may go
That's
through
right.
the same thing. I know it's a lot of brothers that sell dope because I sold dope, and I know it's a lot of brothers that not fighting their dogs, so I wasn't fighting mine, that will lose their dogs. You know,
No.
and it's a chance that if you in that situation, you could make some sort of changes. You know what I'm saying? Whether
Right.
it's do do your thing elsewhere or whatever, however. But you make changes because you know when if that's the residence that you live at and they come there, they taking them dogs. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is, man. No, and we have say we got an old dog like one of y'all brothers was saying just now. We got an old dog like Trevor was saying. And you know them old dogs, they get bad elbows. Elbows start looking bad.
Oh yeah, they
You
look
know they
horrible
start.
at the end.
You know they get all kind of little dings and bings on them.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
like watching
so
your grandpa die or something. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
So a lot of them
Right.
old dogs, some of them old dogs, they still move young if you was taking care of them real good, and they still kind of
Right.
act young, but they may have they dings through. If I got a 10-year-old dog, he may have some permanent scratches on him by the time he's 10 years old. You know,
Yeah, they
but
Right.
get
but I
under
can
Right.
probably
fence.
walk him in front of you. I can walk him in front of you, and you don't think he's 10 years old. You know, because he
Right.
moving like a younger dog. So when they come to my
That's right.
yard and look at him now, oh, this is a dog fighter. I mean, he's scratched up from dog fighting. No, he's not. But I gotta explain this motherfucker is 10 years old and all this shit in court. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
the bad part about it. You got to explain all that stuff once you done been locked up, once you've been charged for all this stuff. We try to argue the point to where brothers don't even get profiled for this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? We want to
Right.
be treated equal, just like everybody else. The brother should be able to, and I say any brother, white, black, Mexican, any brother should be able to walk down any street, hat to the back, pants sagging if he want to sag. You know what I'm saying? Pit bull pulling him, and he not considered no dog fighter. You know what I'm saying? He should
Right.
be able to take a flirt pole and go work in the park. If his dog not bothering nobody else, he should be able to do exercises with his dog and not be considered a dog fighter.
And his
You know what
dog
I'm
will
saying?
love him for it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
You know,
That's right.
and it's like we always say, you can do anything with any breed of dog, except a pit bull terrier. We run a treadmill. No problems with the shepherds. No problems with the Rottweilers. No problems with the Dobermans. Minute you get in some kind of drug or any kind of other trouble with a pit bull and the treadmill, it's dog fight paraphernalia. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I got in trouble, man, they made the dude who make dog trotter. They put an article in the newspaper and try to make it look like he sold me a treadmill for dog fighting and all kind of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? No, man. You know, that's what the news people did. That's the type of shit that pissed me off, dog. That's why I do what I do. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. No doubt.
Making up stuff on folk, man. For BS. You know,
That's crazy.
BS.
That's
If I had
crazy.
anything, if my dog looked at bad, dog, when I got in trouble, my dog looked at bad. When they locked me up, they would have said, look at these dogs. They didn't say that. They locked me up and it was gone. Like I said, the dog catch a bitch, double back on them, and came back and knew I was in jail, so wasn't nobody there to take care of the dogs. But she didn't know how long, she didn't know how long I was gonna be in there, but she knew I was in jail. But come back in there and then screw with the dogs. If the dogs was anything was wrong with them dogs, I had the treadmill outside. If they saw anything wrong with it, you know, they would have made an issue about it then. They didn't make no issue about it. And that's why I say, man, you know, a lot of times it's because of the things that we are involved with, you know, in our personal lives. You know what I'm saying? We bring too much of our personal lives into this dog stuff. And, you know, it just, that's the way it is, man. You know, we can say this and we can say that, but it's probably gonna always be like that, man. The pit bull has always been one of the most popular dogs. It's gonna always probably be one of the most popular dogs in America. And as long as it's one of the most popular dogs, you're gonna have brothers hustling in the hoods. You're gonna have brothers slinging that iron. You're gonna have brothers strapped up. You're gonna have brothers that's doing all this and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And whether I'm doing the news or whether YouTube even exists no more, brothers still gonna be doing all that stuff. And the thing about it, I wanted to say this too. I'm thinking about it. If I would have never started a dog channel, it wouldn't have stopped nothing that happened. Anything that you heard of that happened between now and the time we started this dog stuff, all that same stuff would have still happened.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single thing
Yeah.
would have still happened to this damn day to 2025. You just wouldn't have knew about it.
You're just
Period.
bringing
That's right.
awareness to it.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah. Bring awareness.
you
Yeah.
know, and like I said, man, if I'm trying to bring awareness to drunk driving, it's not to stop you from driving. It's to stop you from driving drunk, and
No doubt.
it's to say, yo,
No
okay,
doubt.
it you do what you want because you're grown, but I'm showing you
That's
what
right.
happens when you get in accidents. I'm showing you what happens when people get ran over in the streets and stuff like the highways. I'm showing you all this. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not trying to condemn you as a person. But I'm just trying to show you this stuff, and hopefully you have some type of heart to understand that. Okay,
That's
if
right.
I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it like this, the right way. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And like I said, it don't mean you can't have dogs. It don't mean you can't have 20 or 30. If you, like brother said, you gotta have time and energy for it. I think if you got that many, you need to be, just have the time and energy for it, man, and make sure they taken care of. And just understand what kind of world we living in, man. It's just crazy out here, man. Plain out and simple,
No, that's right.
You got brothers who haven't dealt a bit of drugs in their life. They don't want to deal with the pit bulls because there's too much aggravation involved with it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so much aggravation. And that's why I'm glad I've been playing a lot of my old videos because, it takes me to the mind frame of when I first got my Reno, and what I was doing. Like I had, great dogs when I had them, but I got rid of them to do I had a goal in mind. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, it was my training thing I was trying to do. I was trying to kick off and do certain things, and it just, at the end of the day, man, I love the pit bull terriers. I'm a pit bull man. No matter what dog I get or what breed I get, I'm still a pit bull man. But with these dogs, man, it's a lot of shit, man. It's just sometimes I don't blame no brother for saying, man, I'm just done with this shit. It's just too much, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't fight no damn dogs. I gotta be looked at this way because of this, and treat me like this because of this. Come on, man. What if this brother got 2, 3 pit bulls and got 10 hunting dogs? And now you got 15 barrels out here or something, and he only got 2 or 3 pits. You maybe see a pit from the road. Now you making it seem like it's good for people to ride past and call the animal control on this man. How about I ride past your house and say I see him touching your little girl? I seen him over there touching that little boy. I seen him over there touching the little girl. How about if I ride past some of these politicians' houses? I ride past some of these politician houses. Oh, I seen you out there touching on a man. I seen you out here doing this. I seen you out here snorting a line of cocaine. I seen you out here, like I say, playing with them little boys and them little kids. But you can't say that without proving it. But with these pits, you can say that without proving it.
Yeah, that's what's fucked up.
Yes, sir, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all brothers here too long tonight, man. We can talk all night long. And but I really appreciate y'all coming up here rocking with me tonight, man. Anytime any of y'all brothers want to come up here, man, you're always welcome. Like I said, we just trying to survive out here, man. Everybody got these dogs. Everybody live in different states. We all got different we got like law. When I say different laws, we got different little like state and city and county laws, but we all got the same federal laws, and for the most part, the dog fighting thing is the same way for all of us. The only way we gonna get to the point we need to get to is to look out for each other, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that if you see somebody slipping, stop them from slipping. Even if, the thing is, man, one person getting screwed up in a dog game don't make it just look bad for them and make it look bad for everybody. So if we can keep everybody from fucking up and everybody stay on point, everybody doing anything the way they got to do it the right way, then it makes the whole game look good. It don't make no difference if we getting through to 10 people over here and then one brother over here get knocked, you know, and it makes everybody look bad. You know, it don't matter how big or how small the kennel is. When they show them news articles, you know, until they start saying like the biggest this and the biggest that, when they show the news articles, the folk look at everybody the same, dog fighters. Look at everybody comments up under everybody, including myself, everybody, whoever got in trouble about a dog, look up under their comments and see what the people say. Throw them in jail, cut their dick off, hang them, do this and do that.
They should lock them up on a chain for the rest of their life.
Now imagine how profiling and how hateful that'll be to a brother who's not even doing nothing, but he's charged with it. He's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. He's charged with it, and just on the charge in the first news article, y'all put all these comments up here. Y'all condemn the man. Y'all say this, y'all say that, and then he's not guilty. Will them same people come back and say, "I'm sorry. Oh, you's a great fella. You's the best fella in the world. Come over here and eat some steak at my house. I have a cookout for you today." All kind of stuff. Man, let me invite you to a football game, man. I'm sorry. No, man, they're gonna disappear. You know, and like I said, man, and it's bad because this breed is the only breed they doing it to. You know what I'm saying? The brothers sometimes they get confused with the bullies and all that, and you know they go through their little thing or whatever. And you know, the Rottweiler brothers, they go through their things, and you know, but that pit bull community, man, brothers got to smarten up and stick together and stop hating on each other, man. And you know, even if you don't like a brother, you don't gotta hate on them. You know, you don't gotta deal with the bloodline I deal with. You don't gotta like my opinion about a certain thing, but that don't mean because you don't like my opinion, you gotta get up under there like the dude down in the chat right there talking about White Lives Matter and talk about what do Horry County Public Index mean to me? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. White Lives Matter. You see, you don't gotta be like that, man. Brothers gotta understand. Like I said before, everybody in the same game, man. You might not be making the money the next brother making. You might be selling your dogs for this price, but at the end of the day, everybody's striving to be the same thing. An excellent dog brother with a dog, taking care of their dogs. You know, being looked at as a great dog man by his fellow dog man. You know, so all a little bickering sometimes, and I'm not even talking about really YouTube. I'm talking about the dog game in general. You know, when brothers like it's too much, man. Like I said, the pit bulls are too valuable of dogs, fam. Too valuable. They've been used to make too many other dogs for the price of a pit bull to still be the same. How the fuck is we creating dogs that cost more than the dogs that created them?
Yeah,
I can get the pure shit for cheap, but I get the cutting agent. I gotta pay $10,000 for that dog. He didn't been cut down. He just got a 10% of my dog in him, maybe 20%, maybe 50% of my dog in him. But I gotta pay $10,000 for that, and I'm paying $1,500, $750 for these ones over here, the real deal. And that's just because, man, it's so much hate and brothers that's not educating themselves before they get 1,000 dogs. You know what I'm saying? Educate yourself that you know every bloodline ain't the same. Educate yourself all the way around with the dog game. Educate yourself with the dog community. Understand everybody ain't your friend. Understand people gonna friend you for dogs. Educate yourself about everything when it comes to the dogs, and you be a little bit better. And as you go along, like I always say, we always, no matter how old we get, we got to be a sponge in this thing. No matter how much we want us, even me, I might think, oh, I know it all. I know it all. But I still got to understand, I got to be able to take stuff in. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it come to fleas, that stuff I told y'all about fleas. Like, I just learned about that a couple weeks ago when I first did the video about it. I just learned about that, and that seemed like a very good thing to use. You know, flea season haven't hit real hard yet for me to use it.
Hey, you know how that works?
Huh?
Do you know how that works?
Nah, you can go ahead and tell me.
So it's like the way it was explained to me was it's kind of like fiberglass shards. And what it does is whenever the fleas are bouncing around or whatever, they're real fine, and it basically slices them, and it basically cuts them up. And so I know people who's used it and stuff. It just depends on the severity. You know, I've seen like bad fleas on yards and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
where you got to just, you got to get some serious stuff to get rid of them.
Yeah.
That stuff right there, like you can put it in your house or something like that. If you got some fleas that came in your house, you can put it outside. You can put it on the ground. You can put it in their barrels, stuff like that. But if you got a bad case, it's not just going to knock them out. But what it does is it slices their the little shards or whatever, cuts them all up, and that's how it reduces the population. But it won't completely eliminate it before they breed and have another little session. You know.
Yeah. Now I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. The stuff that I had the real good success with was them collars, them Seresto collars. When I had my yard, like just regular, wasn't no fleas on the ground, like just regular ground. And I use them collars, man. I don't have to worry about fleas that whole year. I'm talking about not just the flea. That thing worked for 8 months, and then it probably still be in a system for a little while longer. You don't have no fleas, man. I didn't have to worry about no fleas for a minute when I had them collars. But them collars, they cost like $50 a piece. So if you got 10 dogs, it's gonna get expensive. You know what I'm saying? But I only had a few dogs, so I was able to buy a few of them. But that was the best stuff that I had used for the fleas. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I sprayed my dog with some flea spray last year. Man, I'm talking about the next day the fleas was right back on them.
Yeah, that stuff.
The very next day, if not the same day.
What you want to do, Key?
I'll listen to you.
Well, I was just gonna throw this in there while y'all was on that flea tip. You might want to get yourself involved with some of that tree and shrub. You get it from Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's usually for outside when you're dealing with your plants to keep all the pesticides and stuff like that. It's it got the high ingredients that they use for the fleas and ticks. It carries that ingredient and it's in a shrub. It's called tree and shrub, and you get it from like Lowe's or Home Depot in the garden section, and that take care of all your needs. They got a video on there called Paw. He's a home remedy type guy. Paw showing it on YouTube how to use it and how significant it is. He live out in the woods. He live out in what you call that out abroad type thing, and he had a situation going on with some of his dogs, and he had made a YouTube channel about this tree and shrub stuff, and I tried it myself, and it works miracles. It works miracles, and you ain't got to worry about another flea. And then they got another product. I forgot the name of it, but it's in Tractor Supply, and it's over there in the garden section. But they usually got over there by the commercial, like if you're doing commercial jobs and stuff like that. And the guy was down towards the coast area of Carolina, and he turned me on. He had a situation going on at his house that he had a dog or a cat that came in his house and had fleas and so forth like that, and then the whole house got affected.
So yeah, that somebody would just be miserable.
Yeah, that was real miserable. He told me. So some guy had showed him about it, and then he took it. He said he sprayed it. He said the following day, man, because usually when he wake up, he'll put his pants on. He had a pair. He said a khaki pants. That's the way he did it. He had a khaki pants. He'll put them on. By the time he walked from his room to the bathroom, the bottom of the khaki pants be full of fleas. I was laughing my ass off. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I was laughing because I had that happen to me one time.
Yeah,
but he used this particular stuff. Yeah, he had this particular stuff. He said he did the house with it, and then he went outside. He went back to work, and he came home saying, "Well, he thinking it ain't gonna work like that." When he came home, all this shit was eliminated, and it's safe with your pets and everything. After it dry, you can drop some food or some water on the ground, and it won't hurt you or harm your pet. Them are the two best products that eliminate the flea situation. And I'm talking about it's so powerful. It'll go inside. If it get into the ground, whatever's under the ground, it'll come up dead. But I gotta know the name. I forgot. I got some inside the house. I just gotta find the name of it. Maybe I could put it on your comment section or something like that. It's real good. It's real, and it kills everything. Flies, mosquitoes, and everything for a long period of time. And the way he told me, I haven't used it yet. I just got it because he was telling me about it. He said, you use it. He said he did that maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, and he still got half of the bottle, if not a little bit more than half, left, and he haven't seen nothing. He said he can't see a fly, nothing in his house. He kind of scared, he said, because he know nature need to revolve like that. But he said this shit is awesome. So I recommend, I use one out of the two. I'm telling you about one that was told to me. I got some, but I haven't used it. But the tree and shrub, out of this world, man. Out of this world.
Now, what y'all think? What y'all think about the antibiotics? Like, I think the antibiotics being removed out the stores is a money thing. Just trying to, it's not about dog fighting. It's about sending brothers to these vets, and the vets not making money because brothers is basically doing home remedies and all the stuff working. They're getting medicine from the stores. They're getting their own worm medicine, their own shots, their own this. They learn how to do this stuff themselves, you know, and it's basically like you're not going to the store to buy the cold medicine. You know how to make cold medicine by walking in your backyard and getting some grass out and knowing what to use to do it. So they're going to make that illegal and force you to go to the store and buy the medicine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a money thing, man. That you could bet you could believe it that when they took them antibiotics, since they took them antibiotics off the shelf, the vets that made more money in that probably what, 2 years now? In that 2 years than they probably did in the 10 years, you know, just off of pit bull brothers or brothers who been doing their own medicine and stuff like that before. You know, it's a money thing, man. And I just, you know, I ain't gonna argue that point right now tonight because we about to, you know, roll up out of here. But yeah, man, brothers got to wisen up and, you know, let a lot of that unnecessary stuff go, because it's like, you know, this ain't no game out here, man. No matter if, like I said, if it ain't happening to you today, or hopefully it never happened to you, you know, but it's not no game. You know, it's nothing for nobody to get back and laugh at. You know what I'm saying? It's try to educate folk. You can't educate somebody by laughing at somebody who got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I done heard all that before. Like, oh, you get a kick out of playing some news, and then I don't get no kick out of that. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta entertain the folk that's watching my channel. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the news is the news. You know, what you want me to get up here and act like, talk like Dan Rather or one of them brothers, or, you know, I'm just being me. But at the same time, I'm giving you the news. You know what I'm saying? And man, at the end of the day, you know, I said it before and I'll say it again. It feels good to move legal. You know what I'm saying? But I know, and I rock with a lot of people. A lot of people watch my channel, and I ain't gonna never hate on what you're doing. I just want brothers to know, for everybody, brothers and sisters, you know, to make better moves out here. And we gotta say brothers, because I said that shit on my video 3 or 4 days ago. I said the sisters don't be getting involved with that stuff. The brothers be getting involved with. And McMaster said the same exact thing. He said it's majority of the men. He said the same thing. You know, you can see it. You don't see sisters out here getting in no trouble with these dogs like that. You know, it's just plain and see. That ain't nothing you gotta see on black and white. Like I said before, this shit's just obvious, man. You know, and brothers gotta take some of this. We following these sisters with the dances and all this other shit. You need to follow these sisters how they treating their dogs. You know what I'm saying? If you can't figure it out, you know, you dressing like the sisters, doing that. Follow the sister with the dog, because the sisters ain't getting in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I just want to leave it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, P.
No, you good, Pam. You good.
I just want to leave it like this, fellas. You know, it's a gift to have a dog, man, no matter what breed it is. And everybody want to be loved, man. If you choose to be a dog owner out there, please have some compassion and take care of your dog. Take care of your dog, man. Take care of it. And I promise you, if you're involved with your dog and you're loving your dog, you'll be far from out of harm's way, man. But if you ain't paying attention and doing foolishness and not taking care of your dog, well, you're just going to get caught up in a spider web, man. So by me, I'm just going to end it by saying, man, please, y'all, clean up the act, man. Let's grow up. It's time for the nonsense to stop, man. Let's protect ourselves, you know what I'm saying? And do right amongst the dogs and the fraternity and everybody else. And let's turn the tables around, man, because it's a sad situation out here, man. So just do right by your dogs. And I appreciate you, PDK9. Trav, I thank you, brother Trav, for coming up, man, spreading the word too, man. And And hopefully this is the beginning of a new thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we can do it, man. And it's a sad situation, and a lot of people is passionate about it. And we gotta support PDK9s, man, because he's doing a great job, man. You know, I know. And one thing I want to say, P, you gotta help us out now. You gotta continue out. You gotta continue on what you started, man. Some gonna like it and some not. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember that part, man, because it's gonna be like that, yo. That's a trademark. That's right. That's a trademark. So let's do it, fellas. Let's pick ourselves up, man. Let's wipe rub our backs and let's move forward, man. Let's put this thing back together, man. And let's stop the hate, yo. Let's stop the hate, man. We all in the same excuse my language. We all in the same boat, yo. So let's stop the hate. Let's take care of our dogs and let's stay positive.
Yes, you want to leave chat with anything, Trevor, or the folk out there with anything?
Sure. Hey, if you ain't got the Pitbull Encyclopedia, invest your little $60 in it, and you won't regret it.
Amen.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate everybody listening and rocking with us tonight, man. Hope y'all brothers and sisters got at least one thing from the conversation, man, that you can take and add to your program. That's what it's all about, man. Trying to do right things with these dogs, trying to stay safe out here, trying to stay legal out here. A big salute to my brother Marcel. Marcel had to drop and say they ain't take shit from him. He got his dogs back. You know what I'm saying?
Blessings, Marcel.
Yeah,
blessings.
yeah. Hey, big salute to everybody, man, with these bulldogs, man. Y'all stay safe out there, like I always say. Y'all stay legal out there. Y'all stay cool in the hot places. Stay warm in the cold places. Stay dry in the wet places, man. PBK9s, and we out.
PBK9.